p.m. Thank you. Let's start it again. We're calling the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. This is the meeting of the Sunland-Tonga Neighborhood Council. This is our general board meeting, Wednesday, September 14th, and the time is 7:02. We will go ahead and begin. First thing I want to do is thank everybody for attending. We really appreciate having everyone give up some of their time in their evenings to come join us. There's a lot going on in the community and different things we want to update you on. The first item up for on item A is volunteer recognition. Hold on one second. I need to check something. And I'm going to go ahead and pass on this item and we'll come back to it. Second, the CERT training began on September 1st. Sandy couldn't be here this evening, but she did ask me to let you guys know that this is the third meeting of the CERT training, and that will be tomorrow. And after the graduation, they will start doing community emergency preparation drills starting in November. So wanted to give a heads up.
Lydia, are we waiting for the Spanish translator?
I'm trying to,
No, we're waiting for the person who requested the translation, correct?
Yeah. Hold on one second. I was moving on to the next item for a reason. Hold on one second. Officer Figueroa, Judith. I have to look, I have to make sure we're moving over everybody. Yes. I have to make sure we're moving over the people who are part of our board so that they can be here for the meeting. Okay, so that was my first comment. Next item is volunteer recognition. Carol or Cindy, did you want to go ahead and take over that item?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay, so we'll wait on that when we did the announcement B for CERT training.
Carol, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can't hear you.
I can hear both of you.
And the audience can hear both of you.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay. I want to go ahead and I will mention, I'm sure it will get mentioned again, but there was an event last night at Pinewood Elementary School. It was their back to school night. And because the mural was up there, we had members of our beautification committee and our board who were up there to talk about the mural, and we passed out snacks. And when we get to the outreach committee report, I'm sure that there'll be a better report on that, but I just wanted to let you know. The in-person and hybrids meeting updates. Right now we are continuing to meet in person, or sorry, on Zoom. We cannot meet in person at this time. There is a group of people working on trying to set up hybrid features so that the neighborhood councils would be able to meet where people could join by computer or be in person. But that is a pilot program that hasn't been started yet, but we are hoping for that. Currently, the way it's set up is that board members and community members would not be allowed to attend any of the meetings if they were not fully vaccinated. And even though the city at city council allows you to show a proof of negative COVID test within 72 hours, they will not allow that for neighborhood council meetings. So there's a lot of issues that are being brought up with that, like who's going to be the police at the door checking people's IDs and testing. So right now, things are still in flux and a decision still hasn't been made as to when neighborhood councils will go back to in-person meetings. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. Next item is, Cindy, did you have any other updates on that?
No.
Okay. Moving on to roll call. And voting eligibility, Carol, did you want to go ahead and do roll call?
Sure, of course. If everybody could unmute themselves, I'll take roll. All right, Lydia Grant,
Here.
Lala Rowe. Here. Ed Babakanian. Ed Babakanian? Okay,
Ed
I'll-
said he would be late a few minutes because of the chamber event.
okay, okay, if you could just speak up or somebody notice when he gets here. All right, Carol Hutchinson's here, Lenny Freeman,
Here.
KT Travers,
This is,
Actually, Carol, stop for a second. I do see Ed. Ed, can you
Yep.
hear me?
yep, I'm here.
Oh,
Can you
he's
guys
here.
hear me?
Yes.
thank you. There's a lot of background noise. If people could just be aware of that. I'm sorry, KT, did I get your here? KT?
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Trevor Schmidt,
Here.
okay, Claire Gordon,
Here.
John Van Gunten,
Here.
Karen Moran. Karen Moran. Okay,
I do see her here.
I see her logged
Okay.
in.
all right. Belinda Woodruff. I see Belinda's here. Belinda? Okay.
Come
Cheryl
back to her.
Smith. Okay.
Here.
Cheryl's here. Okay. Shirley Kim?
Here.
Here. Thank you, sir. Chris Rowe.
Here.
Nina Royal.
Here.
Cindy Claycorn.
Present.
Mark Siegel.
Here.
Mike Goglio. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Close enough. I'm here.
You're here. Okay. And by the way, according to Empower LA, Mike, you have not completed any of your trainings, including the code of conduct? Is that
Oh,
correct?
No, I finished them all.
You finished them all?
Yeah, and if you go on Empower LA, they're all active now.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have, I'm sorry, one. And again, Belinda Woodruff or Karen Moran. So
I
they
see.
aren't, I see their names, but I don't hear them responding.
Yeah, I don't hear them responding either.
Maybe they're having technical difficulties. We see them on the screen. So let's move on to another item and then we can go back and call
Okay,
on them.
without them responding, we have 16, with just including their names, we have 18. Either way, we have quorum.
Okay, thank you. Voting eligibility,
Mike says he completed all his trainings, although it
That's
doesn't
great.
show for me.
Mike, thank you for being so prompt and getting that done.
Oh, yeah, I think I
Makes it-
passed with flying colors. too.
That's great. I'm still looking through everything real quick here. Okay, is everybody else current on their testing? I just want to ask because I don't want it to change any of the votes tonight. Cindy?
I think the only person coming up is Shirley Kim and John Van Gunten, so if they could respond on their status if they know.
Hi, Cindy. I completed all 3 of my modules.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Shirley. And John?
I believe mine come due in October, and so far I'm still under the wire.
Okay, then you're at 100%.
Great. Then what I'd also like to do, if we could take one moment before we move to the next item, is to make sure that that our Spanish interpreter can let people know that we have a Spanish channel. I do not see the person who requested the Spanish translation, but we could certainly ask in case that person has joined us by phone, because I do see one person by phone.
Okay, yeah, if she could give an announcement, that'd be great.
Beatrice, is that possible? And Cindy, do we have her unmuted? There she is.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a sign up.
She said, let me, okay, someone should say in Spanish. Let me see that again.
I can't- Yeah, it's too small for me to read.
Maybe she can show that again. Okay, I have, okay,
She needs to hold the sign just a little bit higher because her name is blocking out the bottom line of, okay, there you go.
there you go.
Excellent.
Okay, John Von Gunton, can you see that?
Yeah, we need somebody to say it in Spanish, though.
Yeah, if John could do that, that'd be great.
If you can make the sign larger, I can say it in Spanish.
Come closer to the screen with your sign.
Yeah, there you go. It says, si quiere
Yep.
quiere
Si quiere
escuchar la
escu-
reunión en español, por favor, haga clic en el canal de español. So
Makes
down
sense.
below, there's a channel. You can
Yes.
click Spanish. Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and move on.
Okay, Lydia, you can proceed.
Yes, I am going to. Okay. Announce any board member recusals or paid lobbyists in attendance. Announcement. Oh,
Yes.
yes. So,
No, I see no raised hands.
okay,
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I clicked.
that's KT raised her hand as she said it. That's fine. So KT raised her hand. I do want to, since KT raised her hand, I do want to make a comment before we continue, and that is, hold on one second. I received an email from the city attorney.
Did you want KT to speak?
KT can if she'd like.
Go ahead.
I'll wait for you to review the city attorney letter.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Hold on. Cindy, can you, I can't see the item number on the screen. Hold on one second. I have it. Let's see, consent calendar items, new business. I know it's under
Item
new
D,
business.
it's item D under new business.
Okay, for item D under new business, we're not going to be able to take up that item this evening. The city attorney has told us we cannot address that item tonight. And that's just the statement I'm going to make. We can't take public comment on it, but that's what we've been told by the city attorney. Okay, roll call completion, announcement, board member recusals or paid lobbyists in attendance.
So KT still has her hand raised.
Yeah, KT, go ahead.
I was just going to recuse myself from voting on that item. But I guess that that isn't enough for the city attorney.
Yes. So we can talk about it offline afterwards if you'd like, but that was the decision by the city attorney. Moving on to announcement of vacant board seats, stakeholder group rep seats. We have 2 positions open. We have 1 position open for the vice president of outreach, and we have a position open for a group representative seat. We do have people who have applied for those positions, so hopefully we will fill them tonight. Let's move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Lenny, did you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening?
I'd be proud to. Everybody sit up straight, hands over hearts. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
to the flag
To the flag
America.
of
of
the
the United States of America
of America
to the republic
and
to
to the
the
republic
for which
for
it
which
which
stands,
it stands,
one nation,
one
nation,
nation
under
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 God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty.
liberty
and
and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Thank you, guys. Okay, moving on to comments from LAPD, elected officials, representative, Dunn, and city departments. Please keep the comments light. We'd like to give everybody 2 or 3 minutes. And if you have a longer report, you can send it to them that we could put on our website. I see, hold on one second. I'm looking to see who's all here. So if you're one of our public officials, please raise your hand.
Officer Coloca is here.
There you are. Officer Coloca, go ahead, please.
Good evening, everybody. Officer Coloca, Senior Lead Officer for the area of Tahanga. Just a real quick breakdown into the numbers. We're continuing to see a decrease. Actually, in the area of Tahanga, we've gone the last 3 months from 8.9 decrease to 9.9, and now we're up to 12% decrease overall in Part 1 crime. The one increase that I'm still trailing on is going to be the robberies. And we haven't had this past month, we don't have any new robberies, but we're still trailing from behind. So we still got 2 from behind, funny, huh? We still got 2 that we're still above year to date. We are up from 7. We're up from 2021 from 7 now to 9. So we 2 up ahead, and which gives us a 13% increase overall in violent crime. The one thing that we're even, and I'm getting a little worried about, is going to be or burglaries. We're actually even 49 year to date. So we're exactly where we were last year, and I like to see that decrease if possible. So I know that some of you guys had sent me some emails and some descriptions of individuals, which I've been passing out to patrol, so they can go ahead and keep an eye for those individuals. Not that they've been suspicious in some of the things that they've done, like trespassing, etc. So I've been passing that out to patrol so that they can keep an eye out for this specific vehicles, etc. Another thing that I want to go ahead and bring up, I know some of you guys have heard regarding they call it, I guess, the Kia Challenge. It's based out of TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I heard about it. Basically, a couple young kids started it, and they go around stealing Kia and Hyundai vehicles, any from the year models 2015 to 2021. If you want to look it up, go ahead and do so. But it's a very simple process. I've always said it, that some vehicles are a lot easier to steal than others. If you guys have an older vehicle, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Kia or Hyundai, something that doesn't have some sort of a theft deterrent, and you guys wish to have a steering wheel lock, we'd be more than happy to provide some for free. So just reach out to myself or to Officer Figueroa, and we can make that happen. As far as my quality of life issues, I have had reports of some newer, well, I'm not gonna say newer, but some new vehicles in the area, new RVs, new vehicles, in addition to new people that I haven't seen in the area that all of a sudden they're sleeping on the street. So I've been trying to address those. One of the ways in doing so, there was a new section under the 4118 for the Los Angeles Municipal Code that was passed that is going to be coming into effect. I believe it's going to be September 18th. I still haven't gotten all the particulars as to how we're going to go for enforcing it. On my end, it's going to be via what type of citation, etc. So as soon as I find out from the city attorney, I will be going around in my area to those individuals that could potentially be violating that order and advising them that way there's no surprise to them. If they can go ahead and fix the issue, even the better. One last thing, we do have our monthly meeting coming up on the 20th, September 20th at 9 a.m. Our neighborhood watch meeting. If you guys need further information, reach out to John, or you can reach out to myself. The information, you guys should have it on your agenda. Any questions for me?
No, I don't. Hold on, let me double check. I don't think there are any hands raised. I do not see any hands raised. No, you're good to go. Thank you so much, Officer
Perfect.
Clover.
One last thing I want to bring up. I want to go ahead and congratulate our new senior lead officer, Officer Figueroa. She got the spot for Sunland. So now that I brought that up, there you go, Diana. Floor is yours.
Yep, I was just about to call her. Go ahead. Officer Figueroa.
There she goes. She should be
Hello,
able to.
can you hear me?
There you go. Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Officer Caloca. I appreciate the introduction. Happy to be here. So it's very excited to be official. So I'll just jump right into it. Like Officer Caloca said, in my area, there are a few upticks in crime. I do have, burglaries gone up about 42%. I have some grand theft that's gone up about 17%. Some burglary, theft from vehicles have gone up 20%. Overall, total crimes have gone up about 12%. So, any information, we do also rely on the community. So if you guys just reach out and let us know what's going on, call 911. We will send out officers out. Also, I want to mention, if you guys are sending me emails, I am getting them. I'm getting all your text messages. I am, trying to get out there and handle all the concerns that you guys have. I have been going out and speaking to a lot of the homeless in the RVs, and I'm trying to get them housed. Some of them don't want it, some of them do. It's a little process that's going on. But I am working on it. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Let me look. I see Lenny has his hand up. Lenny, go ahead.
Hi, Officer Figueroa. Welcome to Sunland. I just wanted to let you know that, and you're probably aware of this, that there's a new homeless encampment that's gone behind the renovated Sun Hill shopping center by where the old thrift store used to be. It's a green tent. One of the people in this region had sent me an email concerned about that, and I said, well, you may want to keep an eye on them, take pictures if it's safe to do so. And she responded that one of her neighbors went over there to take pictures and was yelled at, and then somebody pulled over in a van and confronted her on that, and confronted her with a hostile tone of voice. There was no physical altercation. I'm not saying that, but
they yelled at her.
When people respond like that, when their picture's being taken, I'm kind of wondering if they've got something to hide. So I just wanted to give you that heads up.
Okay. Do you know, Lenny, if that van is parked out, in that area, or they just happen to pop out of nowhere? And
no, this was just it just kind of came out of nowhere, or somebody, or they think that the driver of that van knew the people that were there. So when they respond, when they react that hostily, I'm wondering if they're engaged in illegal activity.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll definitely look into that, because that is a possibility. There could be some narcotics activity. Which reminds me, I don't know if any of you have sent me any emails in regards to the Sherman Grove and Fenwick area. I know that there's a motorhome there. They tell me there's possible narcotics activity going on with that one motorhome there. I am looking into it to try to move that, or maybe get him housed. He's told me he doesn't want to get housed, but I am looking into that one, and I'm trying to see what I can do to either get him moved or relocate him somewhere where he'll be comfortable. So I'll definitely go. You said it was by the thrift shop for that one tent that was pitched.
Yeah, where the Sun Hill shopping center was renovated. It's near the corner of Fenwick and Foothill, right across the street from the park.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
a it's a
Okay, so
green
yeah, I'll
tent. There's
definitely
a-
look into that.
Okay. Thank you. And welcome.
Yep, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're
So
welcome. Thank you.
thank you. I do want to ask, we have two people on calls. I just want to make sure, I want to look for a particular person. So don't mind me for a second. I need to ask, caller with the phone ending in 129. Do you need Spanish translation? Okay.
Lydia, maybe you need to ask it in Spanish. Yeah.
Well, usually the person will, yes.
It's Sandy.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I just want to make sure we have another one, caller ending in 263.
No, I don't need Spanish translation.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Sure.
So I just want to make sure that because there was two on phones, I just wanted to make sure nobody else has joined the meeting, but I want to make sure that the person who requested the translation has access to it. Okay. So now we will move on to, let's go to Declan Floyd. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Declan Floyd from State Senator Anthony Portantino's office. I'll be brief. The senator had 35 bills passed in this 2-year session that just wrapped up at the end of August. 14 of them have already been signed and 21 remain on the governor's desk. And these bills cover everything from clean water to affordable housing, active transportation, and then his longstanding commitments to mental health and education. I do just want to highlight a couple of bills. SB 230 will require the State Water Board to establish and maintain a dedicated program for what are called constituents of emerging concern. And those are synthetic or naturally occurring chemicals and microorganisms that are not currently regulated that may pose risks to human health and our water system. So that's a really important bill to make sure that we have clean water. And SB 987 is the Cancer Care Equity Act, which will expand access to cancer treatment for vulnerable Californians by expanding Medicaid coverage, Medi-Cal coverage to make sure that everyone has access to the cancer care that they need should they find themselves in that situation. So I'll go over a few more of these bills next month. But if there's anything we can do for you from the state level, please let me know. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Declan, do you have something else to read tonight?
I do. Do we want to go
So,
to that from
excuse
Carol?
me.
Hold on,
Hello?
Carol.
If Cindy could stop screen sharing, I can bring this up if Declan will just give me a minute. Portantino. Okay. Hang on, I'm coming to it. There you go.
All right. So yes, as you can see, this is a Senate certificate for Nina. Nina, we want to thank you for everything that you've done, really for the whole community for many years, but particularly for your efforts this year at National Night Out, putting the whole thing together. I know what a monumental undertaking that was, especially figuring out the situation with the band at the last minute, getting all those people there. And as I said at the event, I went to 4 different National Night Out events that night, and no one did it quite like Sunland Tujunga with the community engagement, with just the great atmosphere that was there. And so that is in large part thanks to you. So to Nina Royal, on behalf of Senator Anthony Portantino and the entire California State Senate, this is a certificate for you. Carol has the real one. She'll get it to you, but we wanted to make sure to recognize you for all your wonderful work throughout the years and on National Night Out this year. So congratulations from the state senator.
Thank you. It's very humbling.
Yay.
All right. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Thank you, Declan.
Okay, and then we'll go back. Jason Maruka, I see that you're here. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Great. Great to be with you virtually. So a few updates from the supervisor's office. On Tuesday, the supervisor introduced a motion that commits LA County to ending our eviction moratorium. As many of you may know, it's been about 30 months since we put this into place. LA County is the only jurisdiction that still has eviction protections for non-payment of rent. So this motion is going to prepare a communication strategy to exit from those emergency tenant protections. Also at Tuesday's board meeting, the supervisor co-authored a motion with Supervisor Mitchell to help address RVs in the county. What this motion seeks to do is set up a 36-month pilot RV program. I won't go through every aspect of it, but there's a couple important ones. One, this program would establish a restoration grant program to make sure that RVs are DMV compliant. And next, to investigate getting a contract going for the removal and dismantling of impounded RVs. And then finally, establish some incentives for RV residents to transition into housing and to essentially get those RVs off the street. So we look forward to hearing more about that and hopefully bringing some more, some more solutions to our RVs. And then two more quick updates. Homeless count. I know we saw a slowing of the homeless count numbers. I know Supervisor Barger is still, somewhat frustrated just with the reporting. She feels that, some of our neighbors on the street are experiencing more mental health and substance abuse. Something that UCLA study showed was closer to 50%. Again, the supervisor's perspective remains unchanged. Housing, mental health, and addiction services are what's going to make a dent in this, in our crisis here. And she looks forward to implementing the Blue Ribbon Commission on Homelessness recommendations to see through some of those changes that she hopes will, get that path forward so we can see a noticeable decline. And then finally, last one is last week, the supervisor welcomed back the Super Scoopers to LA County. They're from Quebec. They come and join us every year. I know for you all up here in the communities that are in the foothills and have our high fire areas, this is another tool for county firefighters to make sure that we're protecting people and property up there. So another great resource for us to use. So with that, sorry, I'm a little bit long, but thank you for having me.
Thank you. Trevor, I see that your hand was up. Did you have a question for somebody before they go?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry. I saw it after I had already called on the next person. Okay. So, and
Mary's next.
Mary, go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Just making sure.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you. So just a few things for tonight. As most folks have seen, there's traffic improvements occurring right now on Foothill Boulevard from Jardine to Hillhaven. Right now, Street Services has recommended using Summit Rose, Tonga Canyon, and Apperson for alternate routes. I did send some of the flyer that details quite a bit of this to Miss Lydia Grant, so you can contact her, or me if you would like more details on that. Next, there, just building off traffic safety, there have been successfully through one of our grants this past year, 4 traffic speed feedback signs, excuse me, installed on Sunland Boulevard, 2 westbound and 2 eastbound, and then 1 off Foothill Boulevard, right off Foothill and Apperson. A topic I know quite a few of you have been asking for an update for recently was the Hillhaven Permanent Supportive Housing. So we did receive some more information from HACLA. So just kind of briefly go over it. This was a project that was funded through the state of California, and it's a 34-unit multi-family property that will be permanent supportive housing for both individuals and families seeking assistance. Excuse me. This will be decided based on need and according to an index that ensures individuals who need it most will receive the resources they need. The site provider will be the People's Concern, and they will be monitoring this 24 hours a day, and it will have on-site security. Again, 24 hours during the night, and as well as weekends and weekdays. Our office will remain in contact with the service provider consistently, and we will work with the community if any concerns arise. And then only thing other than that was just want to, invite all of you guys to the event in late October 29th of Dia de los Muertos in Pacoima, and all of our community is welcome. There will be participants from Sunland Tujunga hosting a booth, one of those being our local YMCA. So we're excited to have them. So that's all for me. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll let you guys moderate the questions, obviously.
Thank you. John Von Gunton.
There, I got it to turn off. Good evening, Mary. Thank you for coming. I'm 2 questions, if I can stick them in really quick. Will we, as residents who are, within earshot or sometimes a stone's throw of that Hillhaven facility, be able to directly call the People's Concern, or do we have to run things through you, which adds, a certain amount of time, no matter what, especially if it's evenings or weekends? Is there a way that we can contact them, and can you provide that now, or maybe at an early point?
Sure. So right now, as you guys see when you're driving by, it's not done yet, but when it's completed and the People's Concern is monitoring it, yes, you can have access to their direct line, and you'll be able to ask them questions, or if you see something, you can call them.
Super, thank you. This one's a little more earthy. There used to be a large pile of mulch that I believe the city provided over at the end of McRae Street near the community gardens. Last I heard 2-3 days ago, the city had come along probably a week, 10 days ago, and scooped it all up and taken it away to God knows where for who knows what reason. Currently, there's no mulch there for the community garden folk to use, and other volunteer efforts could also use it. Can that be put back? I left a message on Friday, but it was so late in the day, I can understand why you didn't get a chance to get back to me on it.
Sure. So I was actually in discussion today with Pat Kramer, and there will be mulch delivered. I am finalizing a date with LA Sanitation, but we will be able to provide that for you guys, and it will likely be at North Valley City Hall.
Oh, super, good. Thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing that date. Thank you. I really appreciate your following through on that.
Thank you. And Mary, I have a question, and it is regards to the neighborhood council voted on and chose locations where they would like to hold their neighborhood council elections. And I'm curious to ask a question. Is North Valley City Hall still closed due to construction?
No, we are no longer having construction on our side of the building. I have spoken with the Dunn rep who asked about hosting elections in our office. Currently, just due to the fact that we're still closed to the public, I let him know that, I can't give him an exact date when we'll be open to the public, and that I would just keep them updated And if something opened and, we're able to host, we'd love to, but if the mayor's orders are still having district offices be closed, then we would be closed.
Okay, I did just want to make one little point, and it's just so the council office is aware. During the heat wave, when they were telling everybody to go to park and rec facilities and the cooling centers, they did not ask for vaccines certificates, nor did people have to wear masks. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because if we're going to start allowing people into the buildings, then it needs to be across the board and not just picking and choosing. We're happy to continue waiting for an answer, and we will have to now vote on a backup location. But we are hoping to use North Valley City Hall because it is the community's building, and we hold our elections in the community room. So thank you so much for talking with them. And we're hoping that the building will be able to be open for this event. Thank you. Our election is not till June, by the way.
Yes, yes.
So we have a ways.
That's why
Okay.
I mentioned that. I was like, I
Yeah.
gave him an answer that I don't have yet, but
Yeah,
it's,
no.
we have some breathing room. So hopefully,
Yeah, well, they just
um,
try to pin us down now, so
Of course.
we'll get a backup location, but yeah, we really would like to have it there.
as soon as I know, y'all will know too.
Thank you very much. Raul, did you want to go ahead?
Yes, hello, good evening, everyone. Just a couple quick announcements. I know that later tonight you'll be voting on the Civic U 1.0 and which board members will be attending. So just want to encourage board members to apply to that. This is a 3-session event in the month of October. The San Tonga Neighborhood Council has 5 spots open. So you're able to appoint up to 5 people to attend this. And it's highly recommended, especially if you've never attended any previous Civic U sessions before. Also, tomorrow actually is kind of a quick turnaround, but tomorrow there is a deadline. We are recruiting NC leaders for an elections outreach video. So we're working with the city clerk, NC Elections Division, and we're looking for a diverse group of women from across the city who are currently serving or formerly served on the neighborhood council. So it doesn't have to be a current board member, it could be a previous one, for a series of videos to promote the elections next year. One caveat though is that the person cannot be running for re-election in 2023. And we have a link for you to fill out and send us any recommendations that you might have. And lastly, kind of referencing back to the voting eligibility, I know Shirley, you said I know you mentioned that you had completed your trainings. Unfortunately, on our side, the code of conduct is still not updated. So we have as of that yours expired recently, I think last week. If you did do that training, if you could send us just a copy of your certificate, and if you didn't complete, then you'd have to go in and complete that. So for now, we recommend that you don't vote on any funding related items unless you're able to submit the certificate.
Okay, let me log in right now and see if I could pull out the certificate.
Thank you. And the rest of the updates I'll send via email.
And Raul?
Yes, I'm still here.
I just wanted to ask one question, and that is on item D under new business. Did you have any other information? I did state that we couldn't vote on the item, but I wondered if there was any other information that you could share.
So the only thing that I can share is just kind of a reminder, right, for board members to make sure that they do contact the city attorney's office as soon as possible. As soon as they're aware that they may have a conflict of interest. I know that sometimes, board members think, hey, I could just recuse and that's enough. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. And that could cause, for an MPG to be rejected, even if it is passed by the board later on. So again, that the city attorney's recommendation is that this not be voted on at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Mary, your hand is still up. I just want to, I'll lower it. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Okay, and then, so we can go ahead and I don't see any hands. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item. I gotta find myself. Hold on one second. Oh, no, we just scrolled away from it. Land Use Committee. Report from the Land Use Committee.
Yes, I'm going to scroll to the letters. The first item is a discussion and possible action that the STNC board approves a Land Use Committee support letter regarding the change of use from retail to adult daycare at 8257 to 8265 Foothill Boulevard. If you want to check if anybody's here for that project. And this is the draft letter. I believe I see a hand raised. On that, is that on this item? Is anybody here for item 8265 Foothill Boulevard in the attendees? If you could raise your hand. Okay, I guess not. So let me read through it. This is a change of use from retail to adult daycare located in the Foothill Corridor Specific Plan Target Area 1. The Sunland-Tonga Neighborhood Council Land Use Committee met July 18th, 2022 with Armin Grigorian, who is the owner CEO of Forever Young, which is in the process of getting licensed as a community-based adult services business. During the Land Use Committee meeting, the applicant presented background and answered questions from committee members and the public on this project. The following summarizes the presentation and testimony that was relayed by the applicant regarding the project proposal during the presentation. Forever Young will be a licensed adult daycare facility and community-based adult services organization. Services will include professional nursing services, therapies, therapeutic activities, mental health services, and social services. Due to the size of the building, the applicant meets the licensing requirement for a maximum of 216 participants. Mr. Grigorian stated he does not anticipate they will reach capacity on a day-to-day basis, although no explanation was submitted. Forever Young would not solicit participants, but be entirely serving members who were referred to them by Medicare and or Medi-Cal. The hours of operation for the adult daycare will be 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. On Saturday and Sunday and some weekends, the property may be used by the Hub Church for church services. Staff parking and participant drop-off and pickup will take place only in the rear of the building where the larger parking lot is located. Transportation for participants will be provided to and from the participants' residence by the facility. Vans will deliver clients by traveling through the east side of the building to the rear and pull up to the center of the now fenced-in unit to enter the facility. This area will be ADA compliant. The applicant has no plans to disrupt the retail orientation of the rest of the property. The number of staff members required by the health department depends on the number of participants per day. During discussion, the applicant testified that a website was developed for the proposed business and tenant improvements were already made to the interior of the structure prior to submittal of conditional use application in preparation for the new adult daycare use. No signage plans were presented. Mr. Grigorian stated that he intended to have curtains covering the front windows from the inside. The committee discussed with Mr. Grigorian of the need for signage permits, including maximum signage restrictions on windows. The committee discussed with Mr. Grigorian that the planning application requires the applicant to list all of the addresses of all the businesses in the complex. However, the only addresses listed are 8263, 8265, and 8267. The primary address is listed 8265. Stakeholders attending this meeting expressed disappointment that the current retail use would end, as there was a stated preference for more retail activity in the area. Upon recommendation of the STNC's Land Use Committee, the Sunland-Tonga Neighborhood Council voted to, it's up to the board to support or not support. Thank you for the opportunity to submit these comments and for considering the needs. Okay, so that I've read the letter And you want to take questions?
I see an attendee's hand up, but I'm scrolling through and I'm not seeing who that attendee is.
Okay.
Oh, Evelyn Serrano. Hold on one moment. Your hand is up. Let me go first of all to the board to ask if there's any questions on this item. Board members, raise your hand if you have any questions, not comments, just any questions that can be answered. Carol, go ahead.
I'm sorry, did Cindy, I'm trying to, I can't scroll back over it. Did Cindy read that they had done all the work before getting the permits?
Yeah, they did all their inside work inside.
But before they got the permits to do it? Is that how that works? Okay.
I don't know that that's how that works, but that's what they did.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I don't see any other board member hands up. Raise your hand if you're one of our attendees and has a comment on this item. I see one hand up. It's Evelyn Serrano. Go ahead, Evelyn.
Hello, everybody. Lydia and Cindy, whoever is monitoring the hands, I've had my hand up for many minutes now. I wanted to ask questions of the representatives that you've invited and nobody, quote unquote, saw my hands. So I have a question for Mr. Preciado that I like to ask because my hand has been up and you ignored it.
Sure. I didn't ignore it. I didn't see it. So I'm sorry. Hold on a moment. I'm looking to see Raul is still here.
Well,
we are in the middle of a motion right now. So let me finish this and then we'll go ahead. Raul, if you could stay for a few minutes just so we can finish this item.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other hands on this item? Okay, I don't see any questions from the community. Board members, are there any comments before we vote on the item? If so, please raise your hand. I do not see any hand. Oh, one just went up.
Mark Siegel.
Okay, Mark, you have a question?
All right, thank you. This is Mark Siegel.
Or
I wish
comment.
to know what, can you tell me what the nearest cross street is for this? And do you know what the business was that used to be in that location? Thank you.
It used to be Hober's Pharmacy many years ago, and it's right next door to the Starbucks drive-through in Sunland. And
oh, okay. And it's been like a church recently, is that correct?
yes, so yes. It's
okay, thank you so much.
Office building, yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, Carol, do you want to call for the vote, please?
Do we have a motion?
Do I have a motion? Mark, you'll make the motion?
I'll move. This is Lala.
Thank you, Lala. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, Carol, if you'd like to call for the vote.
All right. Lydia Grant,
Yes.
Lala Rowe,
Yes.
Ed Babakanian,
Yes.
Carol Hutchinson is going to abstain. Lenny Freeman,
Yes.
KT Travers,
No.
Trevor Schmidt,
Abstain.
Claire Gordon,
Yes.
John Van Gunten,
Yes.
Karen Moran,
Yes.
Belinda Woodruff. I'll come back. Cheryl Smith,
Yes.
Shirley Kim, but okay.
I just emailed, I'm sorry, I didn't have the email for the person that was speaking earlier, but I emailed the certificate to Lydia and Cindy.
Okay. So how will you vote?
Yes.
Chris Rowe,
Yes.
Nina Royal,
Yes.
Cindy Claycorn,
Abstain.
Mark Siegel,
I'll vote yes.
okay, and Mike Giglio.
Yes.
Okay. In just a moment. "13 yes, 1 no, 3 abstain, and 1 absent." There you go.
Thank you, Carol. Motion passes. Next item, Cindy. Oh, we're going to stop real quick and let Evelyn ask her question. Evelyn, go ahead. I'm trying to unmute.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Mr. Preciado, you might know that our organization, ST Forward, which is a nonprofit here in San Antonio, is organizing our 2nd annual Indigenous Peoples Day. And this is being co-organized by Tongva Indigenous people, Tativi and Shumash. It's going to be an awesome event. Last year, we have 450 people. I would think that's a very successful event. The National Night Out had about 500. So I would say there was a lot of community interest. This year, we chose to apply for $1,500 with this neighborhood council to get support for an event that's really important to the community, clearly. And the president of this neighborhood council at the very top of the meeting decided not even to address our organization, which, you know, I am a full-time teacher. I am really tired. I made time to be here. And this president chose to ignore me and ignore the members of this organization that requested these funds, and just said simply, you know, the city attorney decided not to let us vote on this item. So could you just, you know, for my own edification, explain what the process was there? What am I missing that I feel so disrespected by this neighborhood council? Please, I would really appreciate your insight on that, because this is really upsetting. Thank you.
Yes, hi, Evelyn. So, you know, I will explain what I can. You know, I cannot go into too detailed of the information because some of that is also only known by the city attorney. But there were board members here who were publicly listed on the application, which is part of the packet that is available for the public tonight. Those board members, I did reach out to them. They were listed as potentially having a conflict of interest. I reached out to them and I informed them they should contact the city attorney, you know, to ensure that there is no conflict of interest and that, you know, they're able to move forward. During that process, whatever information was found by the city attorney led her to advise, you know, the president of San Antonio Neighborhood Council to not to take a vote on that item tonight. And that is a process that has happened. And so for every case, you know, whenever board members are listed as part of applications for MPGs, we recommend that they do need to contact the city attorney's office. There was also a limited amount of time. So, you know, again, I was not part of those conversations with the city attorney, so I don't know exactly what was said, but she did share me in the email to Lydia that said that the board should not discuss that agenda item tonight.
And when did the neighborhood council knew about this? Why was ST Forward not notified? Because we're not playing games. You know, this money is important for the event to take place. We're not playing games. We're here to work with public funds that you all have given our community to make events like this happen. And that's what we're doing. It's taking a lot of work. Why were we never notified until today at the beginning of a meeting where the president decided not to address me or anybody in my organization and simply said in a very obscure way, the city attorney saying no, as if we had done something wrong. Nobody addressed us. Nobody let us know. I'd like to understand that. How is that good outreach? How is that good support of your community? Every single time we bring something up to this neighborhood council, we get shut down. And then you wonder why we always go around you and have to fundraise for our neighbors. I just feel so disrespected again and again and again by you. A nice email just saying, you know what, you all, there's a process in place. A member of the board is also part of your organization. It's no longer enough for you to retract. You actually need to go through the city attorney. Why couldn't you just let us know about that? Why do I have to take more of my time to get shut down for the nth time by this neighborhood council? This is ridiculous. And I'm sorry, Raul, but you're not helping us with this situation. Please, I ask you for help. This is our neighborhood council too. We should have received an email alerting us this item was not going to be taken up today. So I could go on with my life and other people could go on with our lives and understand once again, this neighborhood council is self-serving and they're not here to support us.
So
they get to choose who they support.
Excuse me, are we in this item, or do we need any more time?
I'm here for an explanation. I need an explanation. Why were we not notified? Why?
Okay, so
Cindy,
okay.
Stop. Let Raul answer the question if he can. And if he can't, then we'll move on.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand the frustration, Evelyn. The only thing I can say is that this decision, but from the city attorney, this email went out to Lydia. This just happened, really before the meeting. So it was unfortunately the time for this item and things kind of did come together very last moment. And it is, I can't really give an answer as to why that was the case, but I consider the neighborhood council was notified very last minute that they should not take on this item.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, so hold on one second. I need to get to where. Okay, we have a second item for land use. Go ahead, Cindy.
Yes, this one is discussion. Possible action. The board approves a support letter regarding 10320 Samoa, Tahunga. This is a lot line adjustment, and I'll scroll down to the letter. So this is, I believe, Lydia, that we may have someone here on behalf of the project. I believe it's Gina Verastro. Is that right? Or do I have that right?
Gina, I've allowed you to talk. Are you here for this item?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'll go through and read the letter, and then if anybody has any questions. This is regarding the Tonga Neighborhood Council met with the owner of 10320 North Samoa, Gina Verastro, and at their August 1st meeting. Because of the irregular property lines that were drawn back in 1930, the request to adjust the lot line is understandable. The owner of if somebody could mute their mic. The owner of 10320 North Samoa is requesting a line adjustment of 15 feet of lot 1. This 15 feet is an easement giving the exclusive rights to 10320. This land has been in constant and exclusive use by 10320 North Samoa for many years. It has been fenced for over 30 years. In fact, the septic tank for 10320 North Samoa is located in this 15-foot portion of lot 1. The owner of 10320 North Samoa is asking that the lot adjustment be allowed and make this 15 feet of land of lot 1 be part of their property so they are able to build on the land, such as a garage. The balance 20 plus feet of lot 1 will remain the property of 10314 North Samoa as an easement for the use of egress and can never be built on. As indicated in the application, page 5, the current owner of lot 1, 10314 North Samoa, is fully aware of this request and has agreed to sign over 15 feet of property once the city allows the adjustment. All understand that the responsibility of property tax for that piece of land will transfer to the owners 10320 North Samoa. So there you have it. If someone would like to vote a motion.
Yeah, do we have a motion?
I'll move. This is Cindy.
Okay, Cindy made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Ms. KT.
Thank you, KT. Okay, go ahead and are there any questions from board members? If so, please raise your hand. There is a hand.
Belinda,
Whose is
I think it's Belinda.
It is. It's Belinda.
I have a hand up?
No,
you-
it's just a
you
lot of
need to mute.
background noise.
Okay, Belinda, if you can mute yourself, well, we know Belinda's
Perfect.
here. We should, so we know she's here and we know.
Figured out how to get my speaker going.
Oh, thank you, Belinda. So Belinda has been here. Thank you.
Just mark me here. Okay.
Okay, so we have a first and second on the motion.
John,
John Van Gunten, go ahead.
Thank you. Ms. Verostra, do you have something that you can present to us, or have you already presented it and it's not visible on the screen? Something in writing that verifies that the neighbor has consented to this once it is
Yes,
approved by
yeah.
the city?
Yes, of course. So they actually, that was part of the prerequisite, is to have both parties agree.
Yes, of course.
She signed off on it, and also the representative at the city sent her an email, so he has it in writing, where she unequivocally agrees to it. So it's actually going to benefit her because she's been paying taxes on this lot since before I even purchased the house. So she's in a very hot hurry to get this reconciled as well.
All right, thank you. But my question was, do you have something in writing from the neighbor
The
that you can
city
show
does,
us
yeah.
now?
So yeah, I'd have to reach out to the city to get them to present that email chain that he has with the neighbor. And
Okay.
if we can pull up, I don't know if the land use committee has the actual application, but both consenting parties are on that application if you can present that.
All right, thank you very much.
Mark is
Oh.
next.
Yes, Mark, go ahead, please.
Okay, great. Okay, can you explain why the lot adjustment is necessary, and is it being used as a parking lot or a driveway, and or a flag lot access?
Yeah, well, it's currently just there's a fence there, so it's being used as land space, but it's just not considered land space. So there's over 20 feet left of that lot 1 for ingress and egress. So our plan is to hopefully build a garage back there that is structurally, sound with the rest of our house. We have a historic 1930 rock house. And whatever we do for a garage back there is going to be, architecturally the same as what our house has now. We've really kept it true to form. So it's just basically just for a garage space.
Okay, and will it be converted to an ADU?
Maybe. We haven't decided that yet. If I have enough funds to do an ADU back there as well, possibly. But I'm not sure yet.
Okay, thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to attendees. Are there any attendees who have any comments about this item? If so, please raise your hand. I do not see any. Okay, board, Carol, if you'd like, are there any more questions from board members? If so, raise your hand. Any comments? Okay, Carol, go ahead and take the roll.
Okay, if everyone could unmute themselves. Lydia Grant,
Yes.
Lala Rowe,
Yes.
Ed Babakanian.
Yes.
I'm Carol Hutchinson is yes. Lenny Freeman,
Yes.
Katie Travers,
Yes.
Trevor Schmidt,
Yes.
Claire Gordon,
I'll say it.
Claire Gordon. Okay, I'll come back. John Van Gunten,
Abstain?
abstain. I'm sorry, there's an echo. It's not me. Karen Moran,
Yes.
Belinda Woodruff,
Yes.
Cheryl Smith,
Yes.
Shirley Kim,
Yes.
Chris Rowe.
Chris is in the attendees.
I'll move him.
Not able to answer.
I tried moving him several times and I could not get him to move over.
Uh,
Didn't he have to
yeah,
accept?
he had to re-log in.
Okay. I'll
I'll
come back.
watch for him.
Nina Royal,
Yes.
Cindy Claycorn,
Yes.
Mark Siegel,
Abstain.
okay, and Mike Goglio.
Yes.
Okay, try again. Claire Gordon.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And did I get everybody? Oh,
Chris Rowe, yes.
Yes, okay, thank you.
16 yes and 2 abstain. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next item. Our committee liaison reports. Budget and finance. Ed, did you have any?
Nothing major. I'll kind of, I think we have another item on the agenda later on to discuss it, but so far so good. Similar with last fiscal year. Year to date, we haven't spent a ton of money, just over $4,000 so far. We do have an outstanding issue. Well, 2 outstanding issues. One is the rollover funds from last year have not been confirmed yet. The last update we got was August 2nd, where they were still waiting to finalize the rollover report. Haven't heard anything more than that, so I just followed up with them. The other item is outstanding MER reports, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and I'll get into the minutia of that, but it essentially has to do with a check that is not able to be found within the city somewhere somehow. And that's holding our MERs up for July and August.
Thank you. Okay, any reports from the land use committee?
The next meeting is Monday, and that's at 7 p.m. And we do have vacancies on the land use committee. So if anyone is interested in being very involved in the community and wants to know more with regards to land use, please come join us. You do need to be involved and attend meetings regularly before being added to the committee. So come join us, 7 p.m. Monday, the 19th. Thanks.
And Cindy, are there openings for community members and board members?
Yes, yes, absolutely there are.
Okay, thank you. Stat committee. I do not see Pat here. Anybody from, oh, there she is.
Here, I'm here.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Pat.
Okay, good to be here. Hello, everybody. I'm reporting on the Safe Traffic and Transportation Committee, and we have a number of different initiatives. We've been very productive meetings. We've discussed possibly funding or looking for funding for a billboard to announce, a slowdown message somewhere in Sunland, Tahunga. So that's something that we're still looking into to see if we can get funding or what the rules are with Empower LA for neighborhood councils to purchase a billboard. We're not sure about that yet. Another thing we're doing is we've reissued our letters requesting funding from both CD7 and from our state senator, Anthony Portantino, to provide $80,000 or some amount that would allow for overtime for another traffic safety officer in Sunland, Tahunga. Because as you know, we only have Joel Flores, and it can't be everywhere in the Foothills District at the same time. And we really need more traffic supervision and enforcement. So I guess those letters didn't make it onto tonight's agenda. I'm not sure why, but hopefully we'll get them on the next meeting for October. We also are looking into having cards printed which would acknowledge people who adopt trees along Foothill Boulevard. And the cards would hang from the tree, and they would acknowledge the person who's watering the tree. And it would state that this is an STNC, Safe Traffic and Transportation Committee initiative. So that's something we're working on. We are doing ongoing tree improvement work. At our watering event, August 27th, we watered 149 trees all in one morning. And that was literally all the trees from Sunland, one end of Sunland to the other on both sides of the street. So from Ralph's Market all the way to Vaughn's Market, on both sides of Foothill, we watered every single tree. We had about 25 volunteers, and we all worked really hard over 3 hours. It was very hot, but we got them all watered, and I was very proud of all the volunteers. We are continuing to improve trees at the rate of 5 to 10 a week. Last Sunday, we improved the two trees west of Ora Vista with the help of John Von Gunten and Lenny Freeman and various other members of our committee. And some other members of our committee mulched 5 trees and watered 9 trees. So we're continuing our work, and we have a lot more work ahead of us. And I am looking at potentially setting up another tree watering event for October 8th. And I have requested CD7 provide the water at North Valley City Hall. I'm waiting for confirmation on that for Mary McAdam, but it's looking good. And that would be our next event, October 8th. And if you would like to join us for our next STAT committee, we will be meeting on Tuesday, the 4th Tuesday of the month, which is September 27th, 6 p.m. here on Zoom. You're all welcome.
Thank you, Pat. You guys are doing an amazing job, and thank you to all those volunteers. One thing I wanted to let you know, if you're interested in the billboard, please submit it through the portal to the outreach committee.
Okay.
Budget and finance, and especially outreach, because they have previously discussed possibly doing a billboard, and we can put it all together. So please go ahead and send it to outreach so it can be discussed.
Perfect. That's really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. And so let me go through the board members. I see there's a hand up. I've got to
Evelyn has her hand raised.
I see that. I'm going to the board members first. Mark, go ahead, please.
Okay, I just wanted to say, Pat, that's awesome. Thank you so much. When we finally were able to talk Felipe Fuentes into putting more trees in our area, I was so grateful to see it, but the contract was only for 2 years to water the trees. So I'm so glad that you have picked up the ball and are running with it. God bless you. You're doing a great job. So good to see
Thank you, Mark. And thank you for being part of the crew that helped plant those trees.
Thank you, guys. Evelyn, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, that's why I raised my hand. Pat, thank you for everything you're doing. I see your notifications on the Facebook groups, and it's pretty amazing what you and the volunteers are doing. I'm curious about the billboard that you were mentioning. Could you say a little bit about that? What would be the content of that, and what is the cost?
Yeah, sure.
What is the cost? Sorry.
Well, I don't have.
Sorry, can I finish my question?
Oh,
I'm curious about the content, and I'm curious about the cost of putting up the billboard. Thank you.
We have not solidified any of this. It's just been discussed as possibly saying something like, slow down, be, respectful of other drivers, something to that effect, but we really haven't solidified the language yet. We have just discussed the idea of how nice it would be if we had a billboard to ask people to drive carefully and courteously. And I don't know what the cost is, but somebody told me the other day, well, I take minutes for another neighborhood council. And at that other neighborhood council, which is Tarzana, they were talking about purchasing a billboard for $3,500. So that's new information for me. I haven't clarified that yet. I don't know if the rate is the same in Sunland Tujunga as it is in Tarzana, but that's what they said it cost. And, we still have a lot more work to do as far as figuring out if this is doable. But it would be nice if we had some sort of messaging that asked people to drive carefully and please slow down. And that's basically what we would be looking to say.
Thank you, Pat. Okay. Thank you again. Going on to the START committee. Is there anyone from the START committee who'd like to make a report? If so, raise your hand, please. I don't see any hands. Moving to community improvement. Oh, KT, go ahead.
Hi, the START committee was very happy to hear that McGroarty Arts Center is going to be resuming its classes at the end of September. And we've started a new policy at the Stark Committee where local artists are going to be doing presentations at each of our meetings. So if you know a local artist, please have them submit a proposal to Stark for inclusion in one of our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Hold on 1 second. Moving on to the Community Improvement and Government Affairs. Are there any updates?
No update on that one at this time.
Thank you, Lala. Outreach Committee.
I can update. This is Cheryl. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So last night was our Pinewood Elementary outreach event. There were hundreds of parents and students. 5 board members attended. The beautification committee was there as well, so they could talk more about it when it's their turn, but they just looked really sharp in their bright orange shirts. And they went in the auditorium, and Gerardo spoke in English and Spanish to explain to the parents and children. So the students had a scavenger hunt so they could ask the artists questions and their favorite part about the mural. But what we provided was cookies, water bottles with ice in ice buckets, and outreach materials like those refrigerator magnets with those handy city phone numbers, which were a big hit. Actually, one lady said she had one from National Night Out and she's already been using it, and it's really handy to just have it right there in her refrigerator. Those reusable water bottles, tote bags, notepads, pens, safety, coloring books in English and Spanish, information on STNC meetings when we have them. And then there was a sign-up sheet. We got a 1.5 pages of emails. So the parents are excited to get engaged in the community and upcoming events and even community service, such as the watering the trees. So I'll let them know about the October 8th, if that's going to happen. And the kids were just so polite and thankful for all the stuff they got. And parents, as I said, were excited. We have our coffee and tea with the STNC at Backdoor Bakery this Saturday, September 17th at 10 a.m. Please don't bring outside food. That way we can encourage people to buy food there, but we will provide the coffee and tea. And we'll have outreach materials there as well, and just a way to interact with the community. And then hopefully the movie in the park, maybe late October. We still got to figure that out. I would like it around Halloween time and when the weather is still good at nighttime. So we'll keep you informed. And I'd love to coordinate with whoever becomes the VP of Outreach and just get a team together to put this on, especially, yeah, that movie in the park or baseball field or wherever. Thank you.
You guys are doing a great job. Thank you. Any questions for, I didn't see any hands go up for Cheryl before we move to the next item. Okay, going to youth and adult education. Lala.
Yes, thank you. We've actually been quite busy recently. We have surveys that we put together and are going to be going out to parents and educators to find out what the community actually wants as educational needs that we can help fulfill. We have a town hall on October 7th at 7 p.m. That's a Wednesday, which is going to be our first life skills town hall. It's going to be Personal Finance 101, presented by our own Ed Babakanian. On Wednesday, October 19th, we're having really an incredible town hall. This is a town hall on fentanyl, and we'll have a presentation prepared by the LA County Board of Public Health. We're going to have representative from the LAPD, Drug Free World, San Fernando Valley Partners, and World Pueblo y Salud. The last three actually are nonprofits that work in the area of drug abuse. And what we are going to be going over is, what is fentanyl exactly? Why is it different? How is it different from other drugs? Why is it so dangerous? Because it is very serious. and then what we can do about it as a community. We're hoping that this will be able to then take what we put together here and export it to other neighborhood councils. We have all this whole group of people. As soon as we said, yeah, we'll do fentanyl, it's like I was deluged with people that want to help. So this is something that's going to be a very big deal, and it's some data we all need to learn. And thank you. That's my report.
Could you repeat, sorry, could you repeat the date and the location?
Okay, it's virtual, so we'll have a promo piece out with the link. It is October 19th, which is a Wednesday. It's the third Wednesday in October, and it'll be at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Great, thank you guys. Moving on to beautification. Are any of the beautification committee members here that would like to speak? Looking.
Marjorie's got her hand up.
Marjorie, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm here. Cheryl pretty much covered it. We had the open house about the mural, and we're plugging away, watering the welcome garden so those plants don't die because it's been hot too. And also some of our members have been helping out with the tree watering. So that's about it. We're hopefully we'll get our insurance because we're anxious to get back on the mural so we can finish it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and liaison reports. I can give just a short report on Link. The Link committee has a subcommittee that put together a survey about the services provided by the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment and how the neighborhood councils feel the services are being done. That survey is complete. The results haven't come out yet, but I should have it for the next meeting. Cindy, do you have an update for VANC or someone for Budget Advocates?
The VANC is the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils. They represent the 34 neighborhood councils in the Valley, and the new chair is Linda Gravani, and the website for that is vanc34.org. And meetings are the second Thursday of every month at 6:30. And the Budget Advocates are also meeting with the city administrative officer, getting an overview. And the next meeting's coming up in a few days. Very, very involved to see how the city is responsible for 38,000 employees and multiple departments. So anyway, there'll be more updates on that as we go. So that's all for now.
Thank you. Ad hoc bylaws committee. I know Sandy was here. We will be setting up a meeting pretty soon, sometime probably in October. Is there any other committees or groups that we forgot? Go ahead, Cindy.
I just want to let everybody know that the high-speed rail draft environmental impact report is now out. It was released on the 2nd of September. It has a 60-day comment period. The route is the SR14A. There will be tunneling through the forest, so you might, if you have an interest in this, you'll want to take a look at it. There is a link on the STNC website to all of it. So if you have an interest, there you have it. Get involved and submit your comments.
Okay,
Mark's talking about it Monday.
Okay, Mark's hand is raised. Mark, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say in regards to tunneling through the mountains is that it will tunnel right into the Los Angeles water table. And I tried to explain to them that, you know, there's so much dirt above that, and the water comes up through the mountains to feed deer and antelope and whatever we got up, bears and raccoons, that comes up as springs at the top 1,500 feet above the water table. And as soon as that tunneling machine breaks through, there's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure that's going to want to push that thing straight out, not straight out backwards. And the second part is that it will be severely affecting our water table for Los Angeles. So everybody should go and talk to them about this. It's a really bad idea to tunnel underneath the mountains. They need to find a better way. They can go down the middle of the freeway. They can go down lots of places. So if they have to slow down for 10 minutes worth of their trip to 70 miles an hour instead of 120 miles an hour, oh gosh, gee, that's just too bad. But to have them destroy our water table. And the other part is that when an earthquake happens, there's no way to make sure that it's not, that the seals, that the tunnel, whatever it is not going to crack and break and make things so much worse. Anyhow, I wanted to let you know this because I went to all the meetings and I didn't get good answers from the engineers. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to filling vacant board seats. Discussion and action to fill vacant board seats. Item A, discussion motion to approve Sherry McCoy, stakeholder group representative for Neighborhood Watch. Sherry, if you'd like to have 2 minutes, John or Cindy, if you guys could time keep. Sherry, go ahead and let us know like why you're interested in joining the board.
I will time keep. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on, Sherry, I gotta unmute you. Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Well, you guys know that I've had some issues in trying to speak before on Zoom, but I think we've got it figured out. So thank you for your time first and foremost, and for all you guys have done for the community. Definitely honored to have a spot here in this agenda, and hope that I'm confirmed. A little bit of history about me. I've been here about 25 years in Sunland, Tujunga, and I do participate regularly with the Neighborhood Watch, which is the group that I'm asking to be part of the board as that group representative. In terms of some of the things that I've been involved with over these past couple of decades, land use is near and dear to my heart, having seen a lot of development, but so is community outreach. And recently had the privilege to hear a little bit about the education with youth as well. So I have no doubt there are plenty of areas that I can get involved with, and it's going to be a matter of really helping and on the forefront of the Neighborhood Watch. So to everyone who weighed in with providing information on how to get my opportunity at this point, I just want to say thank you. I don't want to start naming names, but to each and every one of you, thank you for what you've done. Also shout out to whoever put the email blast together that was released recently. It had a lot of good information in it, and that's exactly the kind of things that my neighbors who don't have ready access to electronic tools like what we're using tonight, that I try to get into their hands by either printing it, texting it, however I can. So I think there's a lot of folks out there that can benefit from what this group does. And I want to, do my part in reaching out to my neighbors and watering trees. That's been a great amount of fun. And I think there's an event that was mentioned coming up on Saturdays. So, I've invited all my neighbors and asked them to invite neighbors that they know that I haven't met yet. So hopeful that, we'll have a good turnout for that event at the Backdoor Bakery.
Well, thank you is that time up, John? No?
Yes, time's up.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's go to the board. Does anybody have any questions for Sherry? If so, please raise your hand. I don't see any hands. Oh, I see one hand. Mark, go ahead.
Hi, Sherry. How are you tonight? I'm chiming up to see are there any other organizations that you belong to, such as the Elks or the Rotary or anything else? And what do you do? And I'm trying to figure out how much spare time you might have to be able to invest in working on this position. Thank you.
Sure. Mark, I am not a member of Elks or other community things besides Neighborhood Watch. I do, participate with, like I said, the tree watering and the things that the council has done, as well as just efforts with my neighbors who have, different types of things that they do in the community, whether it's kids events or theater, that sort of thing. So to answer that question, in terms of what I do, I am an accountant, and I do have the privilege of working 2 days from home and 3 days in an office. So, I have tried to attend the meetings. I think the 7 o'clock start time is good because it allows everybody to, get home and get a few things settled before the meetings. Also hoping that we can do this in person a bit. So interested to see how that all goes. I know, Neighborhood Watch met at Starbucks and McDonald's, and those were fun venues. And again, hope that, things level out with the requirements and so forth with COVID, that we can get back in person. So.
Well, thank you so much, Sherry. I appreciate your answering.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, are there any other questions? Let's go ahead and make a motion. Do I have a motion to approve Sherry McCoy for the
I move. This is Laura.
representative position?
I'll second it. I'm Nina. Oh,
That was quick. So I think Lala moved it, Nina seconded it. Are there any questions from attendees? I don't see any hands raised. So let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Oh, you have one hand raised.
Okay,
Judith?
Judith, go ahead.
Hi, yeah, I'm just wondering why the questions were so brief. Like, isn't anyone going to ask her if she's a trained Marxist or something?
Is that it? Okay.
Thank you, Judith. Okay, going on to, let's go ahead. We don't have any other board members with their hands raised. Oh,
I see Trevor's
Trevor.
hand.
Trevor, go ahead.
Sherry, are you a trained Marxist?
I am not. I have in my background, I grew up in Illinois, and we did have a little BB gun, and we had a thing that had a mark on it that we shot at, but no, not a trained Marxist as you would understand it today.
Thank you. John?
Thank you. This isn't a question. Do I understand correctly that after the questions, we go for comments?
We're going to go for the vote. So if you want to make a comment, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, good, I shall. I just wanted to mention that Sherry has already, for at least the last year, maybe the last couple of years, been directly helpful in the Neighborhood Watch effort. And she's done that by taking notes on a couple of meetings so that we could compare our notes. And she has posted them to various sites on Facebook. And I think Nextdoor. Is Nextdoor also true, Sherry? I think it is,
Correct.
right?
Yeah,
okay, good.
correct.
Yeah. So that's in public evidence there. And I've found her to be very responsive and eager to help. And she's already been doing this job for a while, or at least a part of it. So I encourage all possible yays on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Carol, I don't see any other hands. Let's call for the vote.
Okay. Lydia Grant,
Yes.
Lala Rowe,
Yes.
Ed Babakanian,
Yes.
Carol Hutchinson is yes, Lenny Freeman,
Yes.
Katie Travers,
Yes.
Trevor Schmidt,
Yes.
Claire Gordon,
Yes.
John Van Gunten,
Yes.
Karen Moran,
yes.
Linda Woodruff.
Yes.
Thank you. Cheryl Smith,
Yes.
Shirley Kim,
Yes.
Chris Rowe,
Yes.
Nina Royal,
Yes.
Cindy Claycorn,
Yes.
Mark Siegel,
I'm a little concerned that she's shooting at marks.
Mark,
Yes, I vote yes.
Mike Gotlio.
Yes.
Thank you. That's 18 yes.
Okay, thank you. The motion passes. Now for the next position, we have 2 people who have applied. We're gonna run it exactly the same way. We're gonna give each of them 2 minutes. I want to see which one is listed first. So we have it on the agenda as items B and C, and we'll go in that order, but we will only be doing 1 vote. So at the end, you will just say the first name of the person that you want for the position. It makes it easier to vote that way. So we have Shauna Scanlon up first. This is for the Vice President of Outreach position. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to think because I don't want to make the motion would be weird. Let's make a motion to, do I have a motion to approve filling the Vice President of Outreach position with one of the 2 applicants?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second this, Lala.
Thank you, Lala. Okay, so Sherry's listed first on, or Shauna's listed first on the agenda. So John, could you give her 2 minutes?
Can do.
Thank you.
2 minutes.
And then Shauna, whenever you are ready, I'm unmuting you. Hold on. Go ahead and speak.
Thank you so much for having me on your agenda tonight. I'm so impressed with the organization and professionalism of this group. My name is Shauna Scanlon. I'm a retired LAUSD teacher. I taught in the inner city of Los Angeles for 32 years, and I speak a bit of Spanish. For the past few years, I've been teaching kindergarten at a local community cottage school in Sunland. I've had many experiences in my professional and personal life to listen and respond to people's needs. I've always worked very closely with parents, building trusting relationships, as children are our future. I am from and deeply fond of the Foothill community, having lived there for almost 25 years. I'm a hardworking, patriotic citizen who strongly believes in community involvement. I have attended the STNC outreach meetings and have volunteered at our local national night out at the outreach table. I have also participated in singing patriotic songs with my singing groups to support our veterans and pay homage to our flag. The very best way to respect and strengthen our country and state and community is to volunteer locally and unite the neighborhood with whom we live and work. Please consider me as a serious, well-prepared candidate for the 2nd Vice President of Outreach for the Sunland Tahunga Neighborhood Council. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. We'll go ahead. Are you done? Do you want to speak any longer? I don't think your time was up.
I guess I wanted to say that I taught at Hoover Street Elementary School in Los Angeles for 32 years, and my heart and soul is into teaching. I especially love reaching out to the families and making a connection with these families as we work in a partnership. And I was down at the Pico Union area for, like I said, 32 years. And we had found opportunities to reach out to the Sunset Halls. It's a senior citizen retirement center. And we would bring our children there and make a connection and have them develop relationships. And then we started a garden on the corner for both the senior citizens and the children, as well as their parents, to work together. We also had a tree watering session for almost every year for the last 15 years I was there. And even though I didn't live in that community, I still felt like my heart and soul were totally devoted to the people of that
Time is
area.
up here. Time is up. Sorry.
Perfect.
Thank you. And let's go ahead and ask if there are any attendees. Let's go ahead and go to the board members first. Are there any questions from board members? If so, raise your hand. KT, go ahead.
I'm just curious, what is it about Sunland Tahunga, since you don't live here, that makes you want to devote a great deal of time to this particular community rather than to the one in which you live?
Well, as I tried to mention before, my heart and soul is into teaching, and I put so much energy and passion into my families that I work with. And so I feel a bond with Sunland, and I have gone to some of those outreach activities and felt like the Sunland Tahunga people are like the salt of the earth, just kind and warm. And when I found out that there was an opening, I looked at the description, I asked some questions, and I thought, ooh, this is right up my alley. And I do have, even though I work almost full time, it's 2 days, Tuesdays and Thursday work, and then 2 part-time days. I have a lot of flexibility. I'm single, I have no children, just dogs. And I have a lot of energy, and I care about the community. And I kind of feel like it's my community because I live here, but I'm a Foothill gal, and my heart and soul is into that school and all the families that I service there.
Thank you. Ed, go ahead.
I'm trying to find the unmute button. Thanks, Shauna, for joining us and looking into this volunteer opportunity. Similar to you, I've got a full-time job. It isn't easy. But my question to you is, what is the single biggest challenge you see about outreach within the Foothill community?
That's a good question. There may be maybe a time element, but like I said, I have a lot of energy and I am flexible. I don't see a lot of challenges. I'm very friendly and outgoing, and it's very natural for me to reach out to people and try and connect. So that won't be hard. I've already met some wonderful people on the board. I feel a kind of a bond with them. I'm not sure, I just maybe the time element, but like I said, I'm pretty flexible. I have time in the evenings and on the weekends. So I don't see too much of a challenge with this volunteer position.
Thanks. And I don't know if we still have time. I was more concerned about our ability to outreach within the community, the items that we've been doing. While there is some success there, are there things that you see that are hindering outreach abilities?
I don't know about hindering, but I thought of some things that we could do at some of these events, is just making sure the members have a little bit of say in some of the events, and a little like a handout to just get their input on how we can improve the community as a whole, or what we're doing well. I think it would make them feel like they're, included in our decision making, and it might unite us more just to give us their feedback.
Thank you. Trevor, go ahead.
I don't have a question, more of a comment. I observed Shauna at the National Night Out, and she jumped in and did volunteer for the outreach table. And she seems to be a very positive person. I think, there's sometimes a lot of negativity and a lot of, I think the more we can do to foster just working together for the best of the community, I think the better. And I think she'd be a good member of the team.
Thank you. Mark?
Oh, I need to, I want to know what grade it is that you are teaching, or what grades.
Okay.
And what's the age of the kids in those classes? Thank you.
This year, it's a combo class. It's 4 preschoolers and 6 kindergartners.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I'm looking for any hands raised in the community and the attendees. Betsy E, do you have a comment or question?
I have a comment. Thank you so much. Can I be heard?
Sure, go ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. I come here as a parent of one of Miss Scanlon's students, and I just want to echo that I find the way that she represents herself and the comments made about her conduct to be 100% accurate. I'm here because I feel so strongly that that Sunland would be just lucky and grateful to have such a positive, reliable, service-oriented member. As a parent, I would say that I can testify that outreach and service is very strong. I have daughters at the school, and I think in today's climate, it's worth acknowledging and mentioning that they're people of color. And Miss Scanlon is just so heart-led. And not only did she invite our family and all families to the night out, which we attended and thoroughly enjoyed, but in general, when there is a need, she's at the ready. And last year, the teacher who was leading the choir, which my older daughter was quite fond of, had suddenly left that post. And, you know, I think the community was worried that we might lose that program. And in no time, Ms. Scanlon volunteered to do it and got a warm reception with all the older students up to high school as well. So I'm just thrilled to be able to speak on her behalf. I'm thrilled that she's willing to add to the community. When I went to the night out for the community, she had mentioned casually and sincerely that she was so glad that we were coming to invest more in the community that we go to school in, and that she had really hoped to play a part in bringing a lot of positivity and life and really building up the Sunland community. So again, I could say nothing but good, and that you'd be in very good hands. And with that, I'll pass.
Thank you very much. Okay, call ending in 263. I think that was Sandy. Oh. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Yes, hi. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. My interaction with Shauna Scanlon was when she was volunteering at the Sunland Tujunga National Night Out. She made me and my daughter feel very welcome and encouraged me to get involved in the community. Her warmth, sincerity, generosity of her time is exactly what the City Council needs. She'd be great VP outreach, and I think she would bring lots of people into the community and encourage lots of people to volunteer and become involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you say your name for our records? For our minutes?
Sure, it's Lisa. Yes.
Yep.
Thank
And
you.
your last name?
Is McEwen?
McEwen. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Sure. Have a good night.
Thank you. Judith Quinones.
Hi, Shauna. My name is Judith. I was really happy to hear that you've worked so long as an educator. I'm an educator myself, and to know that you've serviced communities of color. I'm wondering how you would approach outreaching to the rather large Hispanic community that we have here, and how you would bring Latino families, African-American families, and also the large Korean population that we have into the STNC. Like, how would you go about engaging them and activating them in the STNC?
Thank you. That was a good question. Well, I am from Los Angeles, so I don't really notice color. Half my family is Latino, well, a third, I should say. And I did work down in Los Angeles for 32 years, mostly Latino community, a few African-American as well. I would definitely get to know them. I think people need to feel like you are their friend and you care about them, and that you show compassion, and that you can truly listen and find out what their needs are, and encourage them to be part of this group. Because sometimes people just need an invitation, like, hey, we might need you at this event because of this talent you have, and include them so they feel like you're not only a leader in the council, but you are their friend and that you really do care. I feel like that's one of my strengths, to get along with people and make them feel comfortable and give them an opportunity to serve. I'm pretty good at delegating as well, especially if I notice talents and people that are bilingual. I always I love talking I also speak a little bit of French. So it's always fun to try my different languages out and reach out to people, make them feel comfortable and part of the Sunland Tahunga family. And I think, making them feel like there's no borders here. We're all inclusive and we really care about you. And we want everyone to be a part of this community as if they truly are our family. I don't know if I answered your question, but.
Thank you. Next question, Evelyn Serrano.
Hello. I had the exact same question that Judith just asked, and in my mind, the question was not answered. I find that our neighborhood council continues. That's their outreach plan: is let's be kind to people. Let's invite them in, and then they'll come. So I wonder, what specific strategies would you have to generate interest and participation by our Latinx folks, our Black folks, our our Asian American community, our Armenian community. That goes beyond the kindness. Like that's a given. Everybody in that neighborhood council should be following that approach. I wonder, what strategically speaking, what strategies, what methods, what events might you be creating to specifically target that community? Because it is omitted from the council at this point.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, one thing we could do is we could have a day of celebrating our heritage. I don't know if we've ever done something like that in this community, or a tradition. We could even have like an event where around the world, where people bring in a food from their country and even a map where they're from, just to celebrate their heritage and make them feel like they're part of the community. What else was I thinking? I think if we share our enthusiasm for some of these events, I may have mentioned this already, and notice some of their talents and abilities, and that we always need different languages and a different viewpoint to make our community, our leadership council more diverse, and even invite them to some of these meetings, like this meeting right now. I just think they could learn so much from even this meeting and feel welcome. I'm always very impressed when I come and sit in on these meetings. I don't know if I'm answering your question specifically, but that's what's coming to mind.
Okay, thank you. I just want to point out that it's 9 o'clock and we do try to end our meetings at 9:30. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, but I just wanted to make people cognizant of the time. Denise Soto, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I want to give Shannon a character reference, because my children attended her cottage school, Highlands Latin Academy, there in Tahunga. And what I saw was somebody that takes initiative, someone that sees a problem and solves the problem, works with the people involved in the issues, and comes up with solutions. And she's somebody that's very open-minded to hear other people's viewpoints and take their viewpoints into consideration to help find solutions. So my kids had an incredible experience at the Highland Latin Academy there in Tahunga. And part of that was with teachers like Shannon. So I'm a Latina parent, and I felt very welcomed by her, heard by her. So I think she'd be a wonderful asset to your board. So please vote for her. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, going back over to the board members. If anybody has a comment, go ahead. Again, be cognizant of the time. I see 2 hands up. I see Mark Siegel and Cheryl, and then we'll call for the vote.
Oh, can you put my hand down? I couldn't get it
Oh.
down.
Yes. Cheryl, go ahead.
Okay, I'll be quick. Yeah, as was said before, she was a huge help during National Night Out. She jumped right in to help. She's always willing to offer a helping hand. Her smile is contagious, super friendly, easily approachable, very welcoming. She's attended prior outreach meetings, easy to get along with and work with. She's not a negative person, positive attitude, as you could tell from her answers. We need more of that. We need more positivity on our council and in our community. She'll be engaging with the community from young families to middle-aged to senior citizens. There's a lot of work we got to get done to benefit Sunland Tahunga, and I see her being a good fit on the outreach committee as VP, and I'll be voting for Shauna Scanlon, and I hope the rest of you do too. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're done with the comments on Shauna, and now we're going to go to Marika. And I know that Marika is here. Hold on one second. Let me get her so she can speak. This is Marika, hold on, Cahill. There she is. And John, if you could set the timer so Marika can have 2 minutes. Hold on one second. Okay, go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so glad to be here with all of you who are serving our community so generously and so expansively. The work that you all do is so valuable, and I appreciate that as a resident of Sunland Tahunga. This community is such a beautiful community with a rich history that I honor and that I am glad to be a part of. As Second Vice President Outreach, my priority would be to ensure that STNC outreach efforts encourage greater involvement from the community, from all cross sections, from younger people in the community to our elders, and particularly younger generations, because I think sometimes they don't see the value in being involved in something like the neighborhood council, when in fact we need people from all walks of life and from all generations to be a part of this community and of this council. I bring my experience as a business owner, an artist, and an active community member to help reach and engage more members. I've been a business owner for years. I am a parent of a child at Sunland Elementary School. And at the school, I volunteer. I serve as secretary on the school site council and serve as a parent member on the local school leadership council. And I'm the only parent that is on both of those councils that parents can sit on. If I am elected, I promise to serve the needs of our community to the best of my ability and to be a bridge connecting more people to the STNC, to foster community engagement from diverse cross sections of our community in STNC initiatives and events. And of course, you know, as this council loves to embrace the history and the beauty of the foothills. One of my favorite things about living here, besides the people, is being able to see the beauty that we have right behind us in the hills. It reminds me of where I grew up here in California. So that is about a little bit about me and what I bring to this council and what I would be able to bring as VP Outreach. And of course, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
And that is the time. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. So let's go ahead and go to the board members. Raise your hands if you have any questions. There it is. Ed, go ahead, please.
Hi, Marika. Thanks for applying for this role. Same question as was posed to Shauna. What do you see as the main barrier to outreach within the Foothill community?
That's an excellent question. And I hope that I'm able to be someone who can solve some of the barriers. The barrier that I see is that some people don't feel like they're able to connect to the STNC. Some of the people that I have talked with in the community through my roles here, that that there is this sense of disconnect. And that's something that I want to address, that I believe is really important for the council to address, because you all are here to serve. All of us are here to serve the community. And by reaching more people within the community and connecting, bringing in new voices, we can really help foster connection through outreach. So that's the problem that I see and that I would want to address.
Okay, thank you. Claire, go ahead.
Hi. Thank you, Marika, for coming tonight. And I think it's great that you're a part of our community, that you live here, that you're neighbors with the folks that you would be outreaching to. And I'm just curious about some creative strategies that you can bring to really trying to reach out to those folks that you say have a hard time connecting. Like, what are some innovative ideas or just creative ideas that you could share with us? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I think that one thing that would be really beneficial to kind of expand on some outreach efforts that are already in progress, something like a movie night in the park, or events where people can get to know each other through art, through artistic expression, the people in the community that have a creative outlet. And I know that there are so many, including many on this council, who are artists, and that art is often a wonderful unifier. So doing events that are kind of automatically very inclusive to people. And also, I have a lot of relationships already with people in different demographics within the community, and as well as business owners and whatnot, and being able to to talk with people, to do some questionnaires to see how people want to be involved, what they want to see. I think there are a lot of ways that we can do this, but my first step really would be to talk to people who are connected in these communities that are not necessarily feeling like they're able to connect, and find out from them what would help them connect to the STNC.
Okay, thank you. And Nina, go ahead.
Excuse me. I just wanted to know from both candidates if they are able to serve on more than one committee. For instance, if you're VP of outreach, you're going to be doing outreach and also serve on another committee as well.
So you mean like one of the other subcommittees?
Yes.
Yes, I would love to be involved in other committees as well. There are a couple that I could think of off the top of my head, such as the beautification or the art council that would be wonderful fits for me to participate on.
Okay, thank you. Let us go to community members. Evelyn, go ahead.
Well, first off, I appreciate anybody who would volunteer their time to be part of this body, including you, Marika. Thank you for applying. I appreciate that you live in our community. You're more intimate with the rhythms and needs of our community. I remember you participating in our Pride event, which was really well attended by young people of all ages. There's a real need in our community for a space to celebrate and uplift our LGBTQ plus community. So appreciate your support showing up, and you're supporting a lot of other efforts that are happening in our community. So thank you for that, and I hope you become our outreach VP.
Thank you.
Thank you. Judith, go ahead.
Hi, Marika. As an educator, I'm really grateful to hear that you're so deeply involved with Sunland Elementary, and that you're our neighbor. I just wanted to ask the same question. I know you've talked about folks who feel like they can't connect with the STNC. And when we look at, the demographics of the STNC, it's clear that there are some voices missing. So I want to ask you the same question. What would you do to specifically involve the Latino community, people of color, the Korean community, the Armenian community? What are your plans for how to bring all those folks into the fold?
Thank you. That's a great question. So as I mentioned, I would want to talk with people in these communities, particularly leaders in these communities, to see what they need. But I also want to encourage people to actually participate on the outreach committee as well, because we need those voices and we need that feedback and that connection. And so one of the things that I would want to do is invite people to be able to speak on issues and ensure that we're hearing from people all across the community when we're planning outreach events. And so that there's really, it not only fosters connection, but it's more efficient. Because it's practical, in my opinion, because then I'm able to know what people need when we're discussing those events and outreach and various outreach efforts. So that would be and something else that I can add to what I've already said.
Okay, thank you. I am Karen Purdue, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'll just be able to make a comment. I just want to say that social media speaks volumes, and I'm very wary of a one or two subject matter that a person's interested, that kind of is divisive and exclusionary. I'm highly concerned with this particular candidate's connections to known hate organizations, in my opinion, that spew racism, ageism, and discriminatory, hateful words. Don't think it's a good fit. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Amber, go ahead. Amber, I'm sorry, try again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. So this is a comment more than a question. But I would like to speak on behalf of Marika as a fellow parent. Marika was able to make myself and my children feel welcome at the school in very difficult times for us. At no point have I ever felt excluded by them, by their children, or their child. I have witnessed firsthand their willingness to help communities where they have no personal benefit for helping these people. They have gone above and beyond for causes that they believe in, while still maintaining calm and inclusive connections with the people they are helping and the people that they are trying to network with. They've also been able to work on initiatives quietly in the background, not looking for any recognition, and been successful in doing so without causing any extra divisiveness. So I really do hope that the board will consider voting for someone who can in fact support our community, reach a wider demographic than you currently do, and vote for somebody who lives here, who works here, and who has a stake in every single issue that is brought to the board. It's not just a part-time job. It's not just a few days a week that they are here. They are here all the time. So please, I hope you do consider voting for Marika for outreach. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I see two board members. I'm going back to board members. Mark, do you have your hand up?
I do. Thank you. This is Mark Siegel. Marika, thank you for being here, and thank you for your input. I would like to find out, Evelyn Serrano asked the other candidate a question, and that was, please give specific examples of what you would do to engage the community and to a broader spectrum of stakeholders. I know I've said it differently than she, but I tried to paraphrase as best I can. So if you could please do that, that would be wonderful. And I'd also like to know, do you work with children at all? And what kind of stuff do you do with kids? Thank you so much. And I appreciate you being here.
Oh, sure. Thank you. So I'll ask the simpler or I'll answer the simpler question first. And that is that I do work with children in that I volunteer at Sunland Elementary School, not just on the councils, but also in the classroom and on campus. I also have worked with children as a voice teacher, which is a large part of my artistic background. And I always have children around. I'm a parent, so there's always children around. I know all the kids in the neighborhood, and they often come to me for help or for whatever they might need. As far as answering your question about involving more people, I believe I already answered that, but I'll kind of recap that essentially the way that I would approach outreach is to continue the core of the outreach efforts that already exist, because I don't want to leave out anyone who is already engaging with the STNC, but to also find ways to connect with people in communities that may not feel like they are able to connect to the STNC.
Okay, I'm sorry. I guess what I'd said was not really, I didn't say it right, but specific activities to do that was what Evelyn had asked. And so that's what I'm asking also. What specific activities? And thank you again for letting me interrupt.
Oh, okay. So for specific activities, doing sorry, I think I answered this a little bit already, but doing like questionnaires, connecting to leaders in different communities by going to businesses, by speaking to people that I already know within the Sunland Tujunga community and finding out what the needs are. And really, and doing more creative events for outreach, because I think people can connect to creative events like art shows, especially ones that include children's art, you know, things that connect the community through interests and artistic efforts, especially because there's such a strong artistic community here, that is often something that can bring people together. So those are just a few ideas, but as I also said, I would want to talk with people as well to get ideas about what would make them feel connected, or make people in their communities feel connected, and get involved with the STNC.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I've been on the school site council
Mark?
also for Mount Gleason, and it's not a lot, it's a lot of work. So God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm reminding the board members, we still have a lot of voting to do and other items. Claire, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to speak briefly to sort of echo what Amber had said, and I appreciate her coming tonight to support Marika. I appreciate that she's pointing out that this is someone who lives in our community. And also it seems that, you know, she was a support for her during a time where she wasn't, you know, we don't know what the situation is obviously, but she was needing support. She was needing someone to reach out. And that is exactly what we need with someone in this position, to be able to have the calm, kind demeanor that would be able to really reach out to folks who might not feel represented in this current environment of the board. And I just want to say there's nothing hateful about Marika. I can tell you that just because you disagree with someone's ideas of how things should be in the world does not mean that they are someone that needs to be demonized. I'm sorry, I have a timer in the background. Anyway, I wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl?
Oh, I just wanted to say, you know, when they fill out the candidate statement, it specifically says in there may not include comments about any other candidates. And so it's just concerning to see on Facebook community pages today, just trying to throw the other candidate under the bus. So it's just kind of assuming a lot of things by saying, to my knowledge, my competition is not particularly involved in the community and not nearly involved and in touch with the ST community. It's just a lot of assuming. It's a lot of negativity. And I think we just need more positivity on our council where we can work together as a team and not tear each other down. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And last comment before I speak, before we go to the vote, Kathleen, go ahead, or KT, go ahead.
I think that there is a board member here who owes us all an apology by descending into what was descended into during this presentation. That's all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and call for the vote. I would like to bring up a couple things. One, to be eligible for this position, you need to live, work, or own property. So both of these candidates are qualified for this position. Also, I hope that both of you know that this is going to be a difficult vote. And I also want you to know that there are, not only is the open position for the VP available, but there's also positions available on the outreach committee itself. So I'm hoping that whoever does not make it in as the chair of the committee will stay and join the committee. So with that, we're going to go ahead and call for the vote. Carol, if you're ready.
Okay, just to be certain, people are just going to say the first name of the candidate.
I'm sorry, I should have clarified that. So you will either say you are supporting Shauna or you are supporting Marika. I'm sorry, Marika. So Carol, go ahead and call for that vote.
All right, Lydia Grant.
Shauna.
Thank you. Lala Rowe.
Shauna.
Ed Babakanian.
Shauna.
Carol Hutchinson is Shauna. Lenny Freeman.
Shauna.
Katie Travers. I'm sorry, Katie, you're muted.
Marika.
Marika, thank you. Trevor Schmidt.
Shauna.
Claire Gordon.
Marika.
Thank you. John Van Gunten.
This is a tough one. We have
John, your vote.
my vote. I vote for Shauna.
Thank you. Karen Moran.
I want them both, but I'll vote for Shauna.
Thank
Please stay,
you.
Marika.
Thank you. Belinda Woodruff.
Shauna.
Okay. Cheryl Smith.
Shauna.
Shirley Kim.
Shauna.
Chris Rowe.
Shauna.
Nina Royal.
Shauna.
Cindy Cleghorn.
Shauna.
Mark Siegel.
They're both good candidates, but I'm going to vote for Shauna.
All right, thank you. And Mike Giglio.
Shauna.
Shauna, thank you. Okay, 16. And 2 for Marika.
We can't hear that.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
No, we can.
Now you can? Okay, I'm sorry. 16 for Shauna and 2 for Marika.
Thank you. And Marika, please stay involved. And we do have an opening on the outreach committee. We would love to have you participate.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next item. We got a lot to go, guys. Okay, so consent calendar items for funding. Consent calendar items are considered to be non-controversial, will be treated as one agenda item. Any board member or stakeholder may request an item to be removed. There will be no discussion of these items unless an item is removed from the consent calendar, in which case it will go to the end of the new business and considered as time allows. Motion, the STNC approves the funding consent calendar. Item A, discussion action approved the June monthly expenditure report, MER and balances. Discussion action approved July 2022 monthly expenditure report and balances. C is discussion action approve August 2022 monthly expenditure report and balances. D is discussion and action to approve $509.75 for the extension of insurance policy for Meriwether and Williams related to the extending completion schedule of the Pinewood mural through 3/1/23. First, I want to ask, is there any items that need to be removed? Ed, go ahead.
Yeah, items B and C, please.
Thank you. Please remove items B and C. We will be voting on items A and D, which is the June MER and the approval for the money so that they can finish the mural. Are there any questions from board members? If so, please raise your hand. If not, I don't see any. We'll go to the attendees. I see Sheila Kuehl is going to prison. Please, if you'd like to make a comment on this item, please feel free.
How did you get in here? I got in, yes. So in the interest of time, Goat Puppet at the Venice Neighborhood Council would normally pull every item off the consent calendar. But tonight, he will go ahead and agree to leave those on A and D without pulling them in honor of the search warrant on one Sheila James Kuehl. Because I'm so happy tonight. Yes, I am in such a festive mood. I've even had a drink. Goat Puppet moves for approval of the A and the D.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goat Puppet. I don't see any other hands. Oh, I do. Evelyn Serrano, go ahead.
Hi, I had a question about the item that was kind of left floating right now that you all mentioned that the city attorney has said not to move forward with the item. So my question for Ed is, would that, once the city attorney gives the okay to proceed, will you be listing it in a special meeting? Because our event is happening on October 9th, and we need to know if you are going to decide to fund Indigenous Peoples Day or not.
Madam
Thank you.
President.
So Cindy, I got it. We cannot speak back to public comment. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the budget. Aren't we talking about the budget right now?
No, we're not. We're talking about approving these two items, so it's not to the topic.
So,
okay. Board members, are there any comments on these items? I want to make sure.
Consent.
Okay, yeah, okay, go ahead, call for the vote, Carol.
I'm sorry, who made the motion for items A and D, consent funding items?
I will move.
Lala will move.
This is Cindy.
I'll second.
Nina seconded. Lala moved it, Nina seconded it. Go ahead and call for the vote.
All right, Lydia Grant,
Yes.
Lala Rowe,
Yes.
Ed Babakanian,
Yes.
Carol Hutchinson is yes, Lenny Freeman,
Yes.
yes, Lenny. KT Travers,
Yes.
Trevor Schmidt,
Yes.
Claire Gordon,
Yes.
John Van Gunten,
Yes.
Karen Moran,
Yes.
Belinda Woodruff,
Yes.
Carol Schmidt,
Yes.
Shirley Kim,
Yes.
Chris Rowe,
Yes.
Nina Royal,
Yes.
Cindy Claycorn,
Yes.
Mark Siegel,
Yes.
and Mike.
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I'll save you the last
Okay.
name.
All right, it's unanimous, 18.
Thank you. Without any objections, I'd like to move down to another item so we can get it off of the table, because there's some people that are waiting for it. And I'd like to address it, and that is in new business. That is item G, discussion and possible action, request for use of STNC chairs, tables, sandwich signs, and cones for Indigenous Peoples Day on October 9th, 2022. So I need to make a comment here before we go for the motion. And that is the city attorney has advised us that the only way we can lend out use of neighborhood council tables and chairs and other equipment like the cones and sandwich boards is if the neighborhood council is a sponsor at the event. We've always done that. The neighborhood council has to be in attendance. So I would like to go ahead and move to that item for discussion and action so that we can ask a couple questions before we make the motion.
I'll move to get
Okay,
the item on the table.
go ahead. Do I have a second?
I second Lalo.
Okay, So there's a couple questions because the answers to the questions are going to make a difference whether we would do the motion or not. So this was submitted by Evelyn, and Evelyn. Hold on a second.
AG, wasn't it? I thought it was.
We're gonna go with Evelyn. So 11, Evelyn. The city attorney has said we cannot lend items unless we are sponsors of the event. So for the STNC to be able to use the tables and chairs and the items that were requested, we would need to be put on the materials as a sponsor and have a table at the event. Is your organization willing to do that?
So being a sponsor, even though you are not a sponsor, even though you are not providing any funding for it, I think I'm confused because we were on the agenda to specifically determine if you would be sponsoring us.
We can't make that determination tonight. So my question to you is, if you would like to continue, if you'd like to borrow the tables and chairs and things that were requested, we would need to have an outreach table at the event and be added to the outreach that's done for the event.
So what you're saying is you would give us cones if you have a table at the event?
And the tables and
no
chairs
funding?
and the other requesting. We cannot
And no
discuss the funding. The funding is off the table right now. We're asking specifically for this item number.
Okay, well, we explained to we're organizing the event with Indigenous people. And we want to respect the agreement that we have for them, with them, and which we were very clear with. And I know you're aware of these, Lydia, because you were copied on that. That their request was that all the vendors, all the folks tabling, the educators, the presenters be Indigenous people. And so we want to honor that because it's Indigenous Peoples Day. So we're going to honor that. There's no other organization that's non-Indigenous that has been invited. No. But that said, it's open to the public. It's a free event. You all are absolutely welcome to come. It's going to be an amazing educational event. We have presenters from many different Indigenous groups, local groups, many artists, many educators, and a beautiful setting. So I really hope you all join us because it's going to be, I think it's going to be inspiring. And I hope all our community members join us as well.
And people can donate directly, correct?
People can donate directly to us, to SD Forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have been donating. Our budget is including some, our neighbors have been generous in covering some of the honoraria and some of we're wanting to provide dinner for the Indigenous presenters. And, but we still have a ways to go. We wouldn't have reached out to you if we didn't need the money. And I think we were very clear in terms of like why we needed the money for fire extinguishers, for some additional seating, etc. So you have the list of those items. We are reaching out to you, our STNC, who has public funds to give to events like this.
Okay.
And so
this item is specific to us being able to lend you the tables and chairs. We're following the city attorney's advice. And before we make a motion, I wanted to ask the question whether we will be able to participate or not. So you've answered that as a no. So I'm going to
can participate. We told the budget committee that we would also give you credit for supporting us. We could absolutely make announcements that you're lending us, tables and chairs, if that's what would get us the tables and chairs. If we would appreciate that support very much. So we would absolutely say thank you and acknowledge your loan of these items. So I don't know if that's sufficient to you, an acknowledgement and a thank you. Would that be enough?
Okay. So the city attorney was very clear that we would have to be a sponsor or co-sponsor. Would you consider us a co-sponsor of the event if we were loaning you the tables and chairs and the other requests.
I don't think that's a co-sponsor though, right? Like lending tables, does that make you a co-sponsor? I think I'm confused on that. I
I'm
thought
trying-
a co-sponsor had a financial support element on it.
I can't answer that. I'm trying to follow what the city attorney has said. I'm trying
So
to
have they
do what I
said
can.
have they specifically said you must have a table at the event?
They are saying that we must be a co-sponsor of the event, a sponsor
Okay,
or a
would it be
co-sponsor.
sufficient to add the STNC logo on all of our digital flyers and acknowledge that you're lending us tables and chairs? Because we will not be able to provide a table. So if
Okay.
that is for you, if that is sponsorship for us to give you credit for lending us those assets, to me, they are community assets. So you're lending us our community assets. If that makes you a co-sponsor in your mind, then I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
We can give credit for you lending us those items that are absolutely needed.
Okay, let me go back and we'll make the motion with the board. Thank you. I needed that for clarification. Okay, board members. There's a request from ST Forward to use the following items: orange cones, which I don't think we have any, but Lenny would know the answer to that. Folding chairs, 4 folding tables, and the 2 sandwich signboards. The signboards do say STNC, so they would have to be covered. So do I have a motion to if we were put on the outreach information and told that we loaned the tables and chairs, do I have a motion to lend these items to ST Forward for the Indigenous Peoples Day event? And do I have somebody who would be willing to pick them up and drop them off? Or drop them off and pick them up. Sorry, that was backwards. Do I have a motion?
Well, this is Carol. I'll make the motion, but I won't deliver and pick up tables.
Okay, so let's just at least get it on the floor so we can discuss it.
And this is Lala, I second.
Okay, so now we'll move forward. I see a lot of board member hands up. This is for questions. So Mark, go ahead.
Thank you so much.
First of all, let's stop for 1 second. Is Raul still here?
No, he's not.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, so I like to support local groups if we can. It would be great if we could have some kind of a booth or a table there. That would be wonderful if we could. Loaning them chairs and tables. I'm not opposed to it, but I would like to have them all come back and someone from their group pick them up and bring them back. And they have to understand that we do have a lot of time constraints because they're in a storage container, storage facility. And also, I'm surprised that they haven't asked Monica Rodriguez because she has a very good relationship with AAA Rents and she gets all this kind of stuff for a song. So should it not pass, got to hit up Monica because she's got it right there waiting for you. I'm done.
Thank you. STNC Secretary, go ahead.
I just wanted to make 2 or 3 points. One, I'd like to really know who within the community is this event been pulled together with. When it's said it's for the community, but are the performers and the different groups that are coming in from outside the community? I expect that there's some of that, or maybe there's all of that. I don't know. I'm just curious to know more about what it takes. You know, when you do an event, there's a lot of details, and it would have been really great for the group to come to the outreach committee and get involved and work together so we could work through all these various details and work together. I mean, it was even said by the 2 candidates that said, anyway, okay. And that's it. Thank you very much. I just wish you would come sooner and work together with all of us.
Okay, Claire, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say that I think providing tables and chairs in exchange for a logo on flyers and everything, and sort of spreading the word of the support is a great way to event. Last year's event was amazing. Hundreds and hundreds of people came. I mean, it's definitely something that the community, not just our community, but like the San Fernando Valley in general, is very interested in. People came in from all over. And I really feel like this is an opportunity for our board to really start to practice inclusivity. You know, we talk about wanting to be inclusive and proclaiming that we are inclusive. And one of the things about inclusivity is that you need to take a step back and try to listen to what the people who feel marginalized are telling you. And what Evelyn has told us is that the people who are going to be at this event do not want a table that's representing anyone but Indigenous folks. And I think we need to all take a step back and ask ourselves why, right? An Indigenous Peoples Day event is a way for Indigenous people to celebrate their culture, yes, but also it is very rooted in a deep-seated sense that their land was stolen from them. And I don't think everyone on this board is going to agree with that statement, but I think that the challenge of inclusivity is to try to understand other people's perspectives, okay? And so if we're creating a space for people to be who are saying, you know, the legacy of their existence in this country as it is today is that their culture, their land, their so much of what they are was taken from them forcibly, to then insist that we have a table at their event is just doing the same thing all over again, right? Like it would be a great gesture, a very generous and kind gesture on our part to agree to give them support in ways of chairs and tables and in exchange for recognition and open this door, right? Instead of focusing on them not coordinating with us early enough or you know, what other, you know, sort of check boxes that you want to criticize, you know, this endeavor that they're trying to bake. They're doing a lot to make a bridge here. And I really feel like we could meet them halfway in voting for this. So I really appreciate you approaching this question with an open mind and an open heart, please.
Thank you. KT, go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know that I would be willing to deliver the chairs and bring them back.
Okay, KT, there's chairs, there's tables and the sandwich boards and other stuff too.
All of the items.
Okay.
I would be willing to.
I also need to say that I would be willing to do that as well. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, Carol, go ahead.
Yes, I mean, my comment is more that we've just been lectured about we need to be inclusive and we've asked to be included and we're told no. And then it's like, oh, well, you should be magnanimous and lend us items. Well, I think that looks very poor at us, on us, as, oh, they'll lend us their chairs, but they won't come or they don't. So this is a tremendous outreach opportunity for our board. You know, we want to outreach to the people. We want to be inclusive. But we're told no. And what I'm really disappointed that, okay, maybe I don't know what was going on, why, but this came in so late that we didn't have a chance to work through problems. This should have gone through the START committee or the outreach committee or something where these things could have worked out. And maybe there could have been, we could have come up with a solution and given the funding and done the chairs. But this is just brought to us, and now it's like, oh, we're the bad guys if we don't give them this. And I for myself, I really resent being treated like that. So I'm done.
Thank you. John, go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to ask Ms. Serrano, how many other tables are already there spoken for? I don't know if they're paid for or not. And what organizations are already there? And another second question is a requirement of the group organizing this thing that only Indigenous peoples organizations have tables, or could it perhaps broaden its membership to allow tables by the STNC if they were in fact staffed by people of Indigenous background? Would that be acceptable?
John, yes, all the organizations that are participating are Indigenous-led organizations, and there's various, and to answer Cindy's questions, the folks who are coming are Indigenous people from this land, from Tongva land. This is considered Tongva land, unceded Tongva land. And so our key advisor is a Tongva culture bearer. His name is Lázaro Arbizu. His mother, who is an incredible educator, culture maker, she'll be there performing some stories and perhaps doing some songs as well. She's a Tongva culture bearer. She's single-handedly collecting word by word the Tongva language that's been lost, that had been lost. Her whole family are incredible in that. We have 2 culture bearers from the Tatavian Indigenous group. We have some Chumash presenters. We have some Aztec presenters. We have a Tongva poet. So those are the folks. And to your point, Carol, it is not to be an affront, to be in opposition with you. We're respecting the people who this event are for. And the fact that you don't understand that says a lot. This is an event for Indigenous people, by Indigenous people, and we're here to support the event taking place. And clearly our community was very interested in that event because we had 450 people approximately show up last year in the middle of COVID. So we're hoping that, folks will show up again this year. And if they don't, I hope that the STNC help us promote it, because there's very little attention paid in many communities, not only in our community, but in many communities, about the incredible contributions, cultural contributions, and the cultural erasure of Indigenous people. So what we're trying to do is to create a space for them to share with us their culture, for us to have those learning opportunities, for them to have an opportunity to talk and be in community with each other. So to me, it's like, do you want to be a part of that? Do you want to be a part of supporting that, not be at the center of that? This is not an outreach STNC focused event. This is an Indigenous focused event. And so we're asking for tables and chairs. Cones you don't have, that's fine. If it is too hard, I like the suggestion of Monica Rodriguez. I didn't know that was an option. I will reach out to Monica if that's easier. I also should update you. The team just mentioned that the 2 banners and the posters that we printed have all been printed. They're going to be installed tomorrow, so those would not be able to have your logo. We can definitely acknowledge, make several announcements at the event, but the banners are going to be going up at the park tomorrow. And the posters, we're going to start distributing them. And we just simply don't have the money to reprint for tables and chairs. So I hope you understand that.
Okay, thank you. Lala, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, I hope that we aren't looking at various past situations or upsets or preconceived notions about each other on what we think or what we feel on this thing. Just looking at the event as itself, Indigenous people, I'm very much in favor of honoring these people and giving them what they need. Now, it is really too bad that you know, it's been known for a year that there was going to be a second Indigenous Peoples event, and we find out at the last moment that we get these requests. These things could have all been worked out. At this moment, what we have a chance to do is the tables and chairs and the sandwich boards. And that would be fine. And as far as STNC outreach, we don't have to have a table to outreach. We can show up and say, hi, I'm with the STNC, and enjoy the day. I think that would be a better attitude to follow. We can wear STNC shirts and just enjoy the day. That would go far to mending any real or perceived slights or disagreements that we've had, because I would like to have our community inclusive. It's more inclusive than a lot of people think. And we should kind of get chips off of our shoulders and just go, okay, we're going to do Indigenous people. It's too little too late, but this is what we can do. We can do tables and chairs. Okay, good. And that's what I think we should do.
Okay, Ed, go ahead.
Hey guys, I know it's late, but I just feel like I gotta say something here. First of all, I'm in favor of supporting the event, but I think there's some learning to be had here. Okay, and I'm speaking from experience. I come from a people, half my culture is Armenian. Their lands were stolen. They've been persecuted, but we have events all the time, and they're completely inclusive. Go to any event at Verdugo Park in Glendale. You've got people from all walks of life with all types of tables doing whatever it is they need to do to support the Armenians. The other side of my family is actually indigenous. It's Cherokee. And if you've ever been to a Red Earth event, which we have back where I grew up, they are full of every type of person, opportunity, educator. Everybody from all walks of life are invited and invited to participate and invited to have their booths and present what it is they do good for the community. So again, I completely, support this item from the STNC perspective, but I think there's some learning to be had there. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Okay, there's 3 comments from the audience, and then we'll come back.
Motion yet on what we're voting on? Because we
did a motion to discuss it. So I need a motion to approve the tables and chairs and other items for
So can I just put something out that
you can make the motion, that's fine.
I want to just make, could we approve the tables and chairs for this event if the city attorney gives the approval? Because you said that there needed to be a sponsorship involved, so.
But it didn't say that it had to be a written sponsorship.
So
we've been doing, see, this is why things need to be submitted through the portal and have a chance to go to committee where the issues can be worked out.
I know, but we're trying to fix a problem.
I don't know the answer to that. The city attorney said if there was a co-sponsorship or sponsorship, we do that for outreach. What kind of outreach can we get for the event? It's up to the board to decide if it's enough or not.
I see. So I was just trying to propose that in exchange for outreach on the day of the event and opportunities to participate, I don't know, or maybe it should go to committee and we come back and have a special meeting to decide it, because we could be here all night. So I'm sorry.
I would just like to do I have a motion to go ahead and approve the use of the items for the event? Do I have somebody who wants to make that motion?
I thought we already did.
No,
we have the motion.
We made a motion to discuss it.
Yeah, I'll move to provide the items.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Ed was the maker. Lala was a second. Okay, I'm going to attendees. Want to hear the comments? We'll come back and then we're going to vote.
For each person, please.
What was that?
How much time for each person? Up to
1 minute. Sheila Kuehl, go ahead.
Oh, Christ.
Yes, I heard you use the Lord's name in vain, whoever that was. Shame on those sinners. Yes, and that's right. I believe you basically promised them this. If you don't give them the chairs and the tables, well, that makes this board a bunch of Indian givers. And we don't want to be that, do we? No, 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 no. But I think the lady brings up a good point. So Goat Puppet has a question. Uh-oh. If you own a mortgage and it's Tongan land, and you can prove that, then maybe all of us could get a relief from our mortgages and have a free house. Yes, yes, I think you should attend this meeting and pursue this line of inquiry. Lydia Grant might be giving all of us a free house because of this event. And again, it sounds wonderful.
Time is up.
Imagine
Time is up.
a free
Time
house.
is up.
It's
Thank
a free house.
Okay, Karen Purdue, go ahead.
That's right. Your home was on stolen land.
Hi. Okay, I'm gonna assume you can all hear me.
Yes.
I appreciate all the efforts that are being made to provide at this late date to this event, because I believe it is a good event and even stopped by briefly last time. But again, the accusations go flying that somehow the STNC members are not in touch with the indigenous people, or that the ST is standing in the way, or are opposed to this event is just absurd. And really, we could all get along a lot better if, when we're talking to each other, that these accusations aren't put out there, because it's vile, it's divisive, it's not inclusive. And to be painting the STNC when I know all these folks and they work hard to make things happen. Now, it was a mistake, it wasn't brought forward in a timely manner, but they're obviously trying to do what they can. And as a side note, I have seen printed material with Monica Rodriguez on this event, ABRA and ST Forward. So that's just, but I don't think it should stop the STNC being involved as much as possible at this late date. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Liliana, go ahead.
Okay, so when I was on the board, I remember getting calls from Council Member Rodriguez's office and asking for canopies or tables. A church event needed for, food distribution, and they sent the people that were in need to the STNC. As long as we had someone on the board that was willing to check out the items and pick up the items, deliver them and pick them up, there was never a problem. And something changed. I don't know what, but it automatically changed in this tenure. The other thing I want to say is this property, the 111 acres, was preserved by the community, not of just Sunland Tujunga, but our immediate neighbors. It was a couple of years that we've been fighting for this preservation of this land. Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy purchased this property, and it is
Time is up.
keep.
Time is up by 20 seconds.
Thank you. Okay, caller ending in 129.
Hi.
Hello. Try again.
You ask them to state their name, please.
There you go.
Yeah,
Hi,
so
it's Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
It's Sandy Katz. Yes. Evelyn, if you need cones, just reach out to me and Patty Colvin from Making It Happen. and we can provide you guys cones for your event. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Evelyn, did you need to speak again?
Yes, I have an update. I realized that we actually have been in communication with Mary. I have an email here that I sent to Mary early in September requesting some of these items. So she's checking to see if those are available.
Okay.
So that's hopefully in the works. Hopefully will happen.
Okay,
But
well,
just wanted you to update that we have reached out to them specifically about those items.
okay, well, let's go ahead. Board members, are there any more comments? Mark, your hand is up.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was wondering, isn't Someone Tahunga moving forward a sponsor of this event? That's my only comment.
Okay, Trevor?
My comment is, the Against Bigotry Responding in Action group, ABRA, was, protesting against the police 2 years ago and throwing rocks. And there was police reports and things like that. And for me, I don't think that I would want to be involved in sponsoring an event where this is a co-sponsor. I obviously support Indigenous people. We've all come from someplace where there's been persecution, and my own ancestors were kicked off of their land. So in one sense, I fully understand that, but I will be voting no for this, just because of the confusion with the city attorney and the sponsorship and the late date. Thank you.
Thank you. Nina, go ahead.
And not to repeat myself, I'm agreeing with Trevor. I will be voting no for the same reasons.
Okay. Okay, so Carol, can we call for the vote? The motion is to approve the items for the Indigenous Peoples Day, with the understanding they'll announce that the neighborhood council has supported them, and we will be put out on any outreach materials that is possible, Facebook posts, things like that, they can still do. We have a motion, we have a second. John, did you already speak on this?
I did not. I asked a question. I only wanted to say that I think we should support this regardless of some past black eyes. Let's push this forward, get it done. Maybe some people out there who constantly say that we are bad, awful, evil, uninclusive will get the idea that they should look back at the history of the large number of Armenians and Hispanics and 2 Blacks, in spite of the very low number of Blacks in this community, who have been on the board, and in fact, one of whom was a VP of Outreach, and that we're not quite as bad as you would love to paint us. So I'm voting for this.
Thank you. Okay, Carol, can we call for the vote?
All right, are we ready? Lydia Grant,
Yes.
Lola Rowe,
Yes.
Ed Babakanian,
Yes.
Carol Hutchinson is yes, Lenny Freeman,
Yes, but you're gonna have to get your own truck.
KT Travers,
Recused.
Okay, Trevor Schmidt,
No.
no, thank you. Claire Gordon,
Yes.
John Van Gunten,
Let the decency begin. Yes.
Karen Moran,
Yes.
Belinda Woodruff,
Yes.
Cheryl Smith,
Yes.
Shirley Kim,
Yes.
Chris Rowe,
Yes.
Nina Royal,
No.
no, thank you. Cindy Claycorn,
Abstain.
Mark Siegel,
Yes.
and Mike,
Yes.
All right. That's 14 yes, 2 no, 1 abstain, and 1 recusal. Should that have been a recused before the item was discussed? I don't know.
Yes, I'm gonna talk to that before we close.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're moving on. Let's look at the agenda and see if there's anything that can wait till next meeting. Okay, new business. We had consent calendar non-funding. Lala, you put these, Cindy and Lala, can you check the items in the non-funding consent and tell me what's urgent?
Madam President, I'd like to move that the remainder of the agenda be moved to the next meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second, Lenny here.
Okay, I'm trying to just real quick look through and make sure there's nothing. Oh, we have a couple things we have to do. Hold on. We need to do item number C, new business C, because it's a deadline.
Civic U.
Yeah.
All right.
So Civic University is a training program and involvement that neighborhood council leaders can do. If you've already done a Civic U, I would not raise your hand, but any of the new board members who are interested, this is a good opportunity to kind of meet up with some of the other people. You are required to attend all 3 meetings. All 3 of them are in October. Do we have the dates on there? Yes, October 6th, 13th, and 27th. So you would have to be able to do all 3 of those. If anybody's interested, raise your hand. I see some hands raised, so I'm going to go ahead and call on those real quick. But think about if you want to do Civic U, we have to turn in that vote at ASAP. So Kathleen, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to be included.
Okay, so we have Kathleen Travers. The board has to vote on it, but we'll just take the names real quick. Are there anybody else interested and can make those 3 nights? Anybody else, board members, raise your hand.
I would love to, but I can't make it.
Okay. Okay, I don't see any other board members raising their hands. We can have up to 5 of them. So if anybody thinks that they'd like to, let me know. Okay, so right now we have Kathleen. Is there anybody who's done for Civic U previously? This is the first one again, Civic U 1. So if there's anybody who might be interested, please raise your hand.
Claire has her hand raised, I thought.
Sorry.
Oh, I think she took it down. She's trying to escape.
Yeah, no, I actually, I did sign up for it the first time around, and I think I went to the first meeting and then it sort of fell apart. So I don't know what sort of that status creates.
Do you want to go ahead and sign up and try it again?
Try it again? Yeah, I know I have some time though in October. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town a couple times, and so but I didn't want to commit if I don't know the dates.
Can you take your laptop and join? It's on Zoom.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, so if you'd like to, so the last call for hands. If you are interested in going to Civic U, raise your hand if you can make those 3 dates, October 6th, 13th, and 27th. I do not see any other hands raised. So
if I can just say, they are very prompt with the time. So the time that they stick to this is right on it. They don't, like tonight, go overboard.
yes, they also don't necessarily give people free reign to speak either. So, okay. So let's go. We have 2 people. Let's, do I have a motion to approve Kathleen or Katie and Claire Gordon for Civic U?
I'll make the motion. This is Carol.
Thank you, Carol. Do I have a second?
I'll second it. This is Lenny.
Thank you, Lenny. So we have a first, a second. Any board questions? If so, raise your hand. I don't think there's any. Let's go over to attendees. Does anybody have any comment? If so, raise your hand.
What, for going to school?
Thank you. I don't see it. Going back to the board members. KT, go ahead.
You have
Are
new,
we allowed to vote for ourselves on
Yes,
something
you're
like
welcome.
this?
You're welcome to.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, we have 2 new board members, Shauna and Sherry, right?
Yes, if you guys are interested in joining, you can do that. If you're available on those nights. Again, it's October 6th, 13th, and 27th. So if you are interested, raise your hand. I don't see their hands raised, Cindy.
Well, can we include them just in case?
Okay, let's go ahead and include them in case they don't change, in case.
We've got a hand up.
I know, I'm seeing that. Shauna. We left Shauna out here. Hold on. We left Shauna out in the audience. Hold on, we gotta move her in. Okay, Shauna, are you interested?
I'm available.
Okay, so we'll put Shauna. So we'll put Kathleen, Claire, Shauna, and we'll go ahead and add
Sherry.
just in case. And then if something comes up and somebody wants to go, call me. If we still have an opening, we can see if we can get you in. Okay, so motion to approve Kathleen, Claire, Shauna, and Sherry. Do I have a motion?
I move.
Second.
Second.
Lala moves, Chris seconds. Comments from the attendees? No hands are raised. Board members, go ahead and call for the vote.
All right. Hey. Lydia Grant,
Yes.
Lala Rowe,
Yes.
Ed Babakanian,
Yes.
Carol Hutchinson is yes, Lenny Freeman,
Yes.
KT Travers,
Yes.
Trevor Schmidt. Did we lose Trevor? I'll come back. Trevor, you're muted. Okay. Claire Gordon,
Yes.
John Van Gunten,
Yes.
Karen Moran,
Yes.
Belinda Woodruff,
Yes.
Carol Smith,
Yes.
Shirley Kim,
Yes.
Chris Rowe,
Yes.
Nina Royal,
Yes.
Cindy Claycorn,
Yes.
Mark Siegel,
Yes.
and Mike Goglia.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
it's unanimous.
Oh, Trevor has his hand up. Go ahead, Trevor.
Oh, I forgot Trevor. Is that a yes, Trevor? I don't know what that means.
Yes, I lost my mute. Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. Okay, there you go.
So I'm going to adjourn the meeting, but I want to caution board members before we do anything else, before we adjourn, and then I'll ask for the motion to adjourn. It's critical that if you are involved in something that is coming before the board, first of all, it needs to go through the proper channels and it needs to be sent through the portal. Second, if your name is attached in any way to it, you must go to the city attorney for advice immediately. Do not wait. We are not allowed as board members, we would have a conflict of interest if we spoke at a committee meeting. If we sent emails in regards to the item, those are conflicts of interest. So I'm trying to warn everybody in advance that if you have the least bit concern that you might not want to be voting on something because there could be a conflict, you must go to the city attorney. Send them an email, tell them the situation, and then they will decide whether there is a conflict or not. If you wait too long, it's too late. So, and it could cause the issue not to be allowed to be voted on. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move.
Lala motions.
I'll second.
Second, Cheryl is a second. And Carol, let's call for the vote.
I'm sorry. I
Oh,
was
sorry, Claire.
waiting until there was a pause in the procedure, and I just, the letter that I had wanted to, it's sort of time sensitive. It's not like a specific deadline. I don't know if we can.
Is it, do we need to do it right now?
Well, it's an application. We were gonna write a letter in support of a business, a retirement or assisted living facility that wanted to apply for a grant, and they've already sent the application in. So I was hoping they did.
Did the letter get written?
The letter did get written and I submitted it, and I think Lala has a copy of it.
Okay.
Which, just to let you know, that I sent that to Cindy.
So Cindy's scrolling, or Carol's scrolling. One of them is scrolling.
Is that the CCE organization?
Yes.
Yes.
That is on the agenda.
Okay. So if the board doesn't mind, let's go ahead and do this too, if it's time sensitive.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's really, I'll be brief.
No. I thank you for bringing it up. Okay.
Okay, Carol, good luck with the minutes.
Oh, man.
Just ignore those previous, we're gonna adjourn motions.
Gosh, we should just approve all the consent items and be done with it.
Is this on the consent?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's just try the vote on consent and let's see if we can get them all taken care of.
I move to approve the consent items.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second.
Okay.
Is this for all the consent items, including
That's what they are, yes.
The non-funding consent items.
non-funding, but since we already voted on C, okay.
So now you ask if anybody wants to pull anything.
Yes, is there anything that needs to be pulled? I
Can you
can't
make a-
see it, so I
can you
can't
make a
tell you what's
list?
in it.
Can we go back to the agenda?
Yeah,
It's not on the screen here.
I'm getting there.
okay. It's not new business, is it?
There we
No.
go.
It's the letter
no,
to
Okay, ready.
the CCE
Discussion.
grant, and it's
Okay,
responsible.
let me talk fast.
Okay.
A and B.
Okay. Discussion possible action, approve letter to the council person Rodriguez in support of CCE grant for Hill Haven retirement home renovations. B, discussion possible action, approve CIS in support of council file 220, looks like 998, responsible beverage service training program. Alcohol beverage control, ABC, AB 1221, alcohol servers, online and in-person training, business resource centers, the business source centers. Do I have a motion?
We have to do the other, we did not vote on C.
Oh, yeah, I've got it wrong, the wrong C. This is the, yeah, okay.
Got it.
that's-
Okay, discussion
Are you-
possible action, approve CIS in support of council file 22000. Looks like 32-S101. This is teeny tiny.
S101.
1740 Murat Sushi, AB 2407 O'Donnell. Okay, you can all read that. Used catalytic converter sales introduced on July 14, 2022 and referred to Rules, Elections and Intergovernmental Relations Committee. Resolution is requesting that the City of Los Angeles includes in its 2021-2022 state legislative program support for the 8 assembly bills, which would seek to strengthen the laws governing the sale of used catalytic converters, thereby assisting law enforcement in reducing thefts and discouraging the commission of the crime. Sorry to rush through these. Okay, is there anybody who wants to pull any out because they think we're just going too fast? Claire, your hand is still up.
No, I'm sorry.
Not a problem. Okay. Shauna, your hand is up. Did you have a comment? No. Okay.
We have another hand up.
I see it. Sheila Kuehl is going to prison. You can have 1 minute to speak to this particular group of items. Thank you. You're unmuted.
Are you muted?
Oh,
Okay, are you gonna pull any items? Ow! Ow, my nose! No, I'm not gonna pull any items. Okay. So I go ahead and I support the consent calendar. Ow, my nose! That's right, they're running out of time. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay,
Be a good goat.
Shauna's-
okay, board member comments, any? If no, Carol, call for the vote.
All right, Shauna has her hand up again. Is it still up? I thought she took it down.
Shauna, did you have any comments or questions, or we're confusing you?
No, it's the hand is says lowered. I didn't.
Okay.
All right.
By the way, feel free to call me if you'd like me to help explain like what it is we do, because sometimes we're going through stuff really quickly and I'm happy to explain. Same
Thank
with
you.
you,
Thank
Michael.
you. Thank you
And,
so much.
and
Okay.
Sharon.
All right. Lydia Grant,
Yes.
Lala Rowe,
Yes.
Ed Babakanian,
Yes.
Carol Hutchinson is yes. Lenny Freeman,
The goat herder votes yes.
KT Travers,
Yes.
Trevor Schmidt,
Yes.
Blair Gordon,
Yes.
John Van Gunten,
Yes.
Karen Moran,
Yes.
Belinda Woodruff. She's still here. Remind me to come back. Cheryl Smith,
Yes.
Shirley Kim,
Yes.
Chris Rowe,
Yes.
Nina Royal. Nina, you're muted. Okay, I'll come back. Cindy Claycorn,
Yes.
Mark Siegel.
Nerf herder votes yes.
Okay, and Mike Gilguia?
Yep.
Yes, okay. Again, Belinda,
No, she's not here.
she's not here. Okay, absent. And Nina Royal? She absent?
No, she's here.
Hang on a minute. What do you want with Nina Royal?
All right, Nina, yes or no?
Oh. I abstain.
Abstain, all right, thank you. Okay, 16 yes, 1 abstain and 1 absent.
Thank you. Motion passes without any objections. And if you object, raise your hand. Otherwise, we're going to call the meeting adjourned at 10:28.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.